This page is the vibrant cover of a Japanese gaming magazine, celebrating the launch of the Nintendo GameCube and offering a deep analysis. The striking artwork features Chun-Li from Street Fighter, alongside another character, likely Mai Shiranui from King of Fighters, prominently highlighting the special feature on Capcom vs. SNK 2, Millionaire Fighting 2001. This article delves into a groundbreaking concept at the time: online cross-platform connectivity between the Dreamcast and PlayStation 2 versions of the game. Beyond this significant cross-platform feature, the magazine covers major Dreamcast titles such as Shenmue 2 and Super Robot Wars Alpha. It also touches upon games for other systems, including Xbox titles like Dead or Alive 3 and Air Force Delta 2, PlayStation 2 games like Crazy Taxi and Resident Evil Code Veronica, and GBA titles such as Super Robot Wars A and Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper. Arcade updates like Virtua Fighter 4 and Mobile Suit Gundam are also mentioned, showing the magazine's broad gaming coverage while still focusing heavily on the Dreamcast platform. This page features an advertisement for Super Monkey Ball on the Nintendo GameCube. It showcases the main character, Ai, along with the game's logo and a playful tagline, "Banana! Energetic! Ai Ape!" The game is highlighted as a ball-playing game, priced at 5,800 yen, excluding tax, and is currently on sale with favorable reviews, supporting 1 to 4 players. The core gameplay is described as rolling a monkey inside a ball to reach the goal, with the page also emphasizing that the game includes many super fun games, referring to the popular party modes. Screenshots illustrate both the main game stages and the minigames. A visual graphic effectively uses a ball, the character Ai, and bananas to represent the game's essential elements. The page also includes contact information for Sega and website addresses. This page highlights recent Dreamcast releases. Shenmue 2, the highly anticipated sequel, is featured with promises of new characters and a larger scale. It included a bonus Virtua Fighter 4 disc and showcased detailed environments. Cosmic Smash, a unique sports title blending squash and block breaking, offered a fast-paced experience. Sega Extreme Sports, popular overseas, made its Japanese debut with various disciplines and multiplayer support. Get Base 2, Sega Base Fishing 2, offered realistic fishing simulation. Finally, Pro Yaku Team wo Tsukuru and Asobu is a baseball management game allowing players to build teams with 2001 season players, supporting multiplayer and network features. This page features dramatic artwork, likely depicting Ryu, emphasizing the tagline, "Surpass the hardware." This is a bold statement given the prominent announcement below it. Cross-platform online play between PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast is becoming a reality through the multi-matching system developed by KDDI. This initiative aims to connect players across both consoles for various online-enabled titles, including action and racing games. Adding to the excitement, the page also includes breaking news about a national tournament for the popular fighting game Capcom vs. SNK 2, Millionaire Fighting 2001. Scheduled for January 13, 2002, in Tokyo, this event highlights the competitive scene for the game. The page includes a couple of screenshots showing fierce battles in Capcom vs. SNK 2, featuring iconic characters like Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, Terry Bogard, Mai Shiranui, and others clashing in different environments, showcasing the game's vibrant visuals and action. This page underscores the growing importance of online connectivity and competitive gaming across platforms at the time. This page features a striking illustration of a character, likely Kyokusanagi from the King of Fighters series, holding a Dreamcast controller with intense focus, set against a background of dynamic red lines. This page is an advertisement for the fighting game Capcom vs. SNK 2, Millionaire Fighting 2001. The game is promoted for both PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast platforms, with logos for both consoles featured at the top. The bottom left lists the game's price for both versions, including a special PlayStation 2 modem pack, reinforcing the online play capabilities highlighted in the previous page's discussion of multi-platform connectivity. The PlayStation 2 version is also noted to support a hard disk drive. Prominently displayed is the phrase, "In stores now," indicating the game's release. The page effectively combines powerful artwork with essential release information for this major fighting title. This page serves as the table of contents for this issue, laying out a variety of exciting features. A significant special feature explores the potential for online connectivity between the Dreamcast and PlayStation 2 consoles, highlighting games like Capcom vs. SNK 2, Millionaire Fighting 2001, and Guru Guru Onsen 2. Another major article provides an in-depth look at the upcoming Nintendo GameCube, covering key launch titles such as Luigi's Mansion, Wave Race, Blue Storm, and Super Monkey Ball. The magazine also rounds up game coverage on other systems in a section dubbed Other Platform Battle Royale, reviewing titles like Dead or Alive 3 and Air Force Delta 2 on Xbox, Crazy Taxi and Resident Evil Survivor 2 Code, Veronica on PlayStation 2, Super Robot Wars A and Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper on Game Boy Advance, and Sakura Wars GB2. Thunderbolt Strategy on Game Boy Color. There's dedicated content for the Sakura Wars series, including a feature on Sakura Wars 3, focusing on characters Mel and CL, and ongoing serialized articles about its mechanics and a fan page. Arcade enthusiasts are covered in the Arcade Game Frontline section, discussing popular titles like Virtua Fighter 4, Tekken 4, Mobile Suit Gundam, Federation vs. Xeon DX, and Castle Shikigami. Finally, the Dorimaga topics section touches on various subjects, such as the state of the Dreamcast market and notable software sales. This page presents the table of contents for the issue, kicking off with major new information releases. The headline feature is a deep dive into Capcom vs. SNK 2, Millionaire Fighting 2001, a fan-favorite crossover fighter that truly tested the limits of the Dreamcast's 2D capabilities, alongside updates on the highly anticipated Shenmue 2 and the Dreamcast port of Super Robot Wars Alpha. Further sections detail upcoming Dreamcast titles, such as the critically acclaimed fighting game Garou, Mark of the Wolves, the latest volume of the episodic RPG El Dorado Gate, and visual novels like Air and Canaria. Strategy guides cover new releases, including the intense shooter Zero Gunner 2, and the popular fishing simulation Sega Bass Fishing 2, listed here as Get Bass 2. The magazine also includes an index listing games featured throughout the issue, and a section dedicated to releases on other platforms, such as the PlayStation 2, Xbox, Game Boy Advance, and Arcade, confirming the broad coverage highlighted previously. This includes heavy hitters like Dead or Alive 3, Virtua Fighter 4, and Resident Evil Code, Veronica. Additional pages cover news, data, fan contributions, and various columns, offering a comprehensive look at the gaming landscape and community. The page is punctuated by vibrant character art featuring Mai Shiranui and Chun-Li, perfectly illustrating the lead story on Capcom vs. SNK 2. This page dives into the 39th Amusement Machine Show, questioning the current state of the arcade industry, cold or hot. Despite some challenges, recent hits like Virtua Fighter 4 and Tekken 4 are credited with bringing back vitality. Sega is highlighted for having its largest ever booth at the show, promising significant non-game exhibits as well, with rumors of hidden surprises. The show features a wide array of new arcade titles from various manufacturers. Key Sega games on display include Lupin 2 I The Shooting, Derby Owners Club 2, Virtua Tennis 2, listed as Power Smash 2, Virtual on Force, listed as Denkyu Senshi, and Initial D Arcade Stage. Konami brings titles like Jurassic Park 2i, Pops and Music, and Dance Dance Revolution Max. Namco has Moji Baton and Tokyo Stream Racer, listed as Wangen Midnight, while Taito shows Castle of Shikigami, listed as Shikigami no Shiro, and Hard Punisher, Hajime no Ippo. The event took place at Tokyo Big Sight from September 20th to 22nd, 2001, with the 22nd open to the public. Featured titles are Lupin 2, The Shooting, and Initial D Arcade Stage. The Lupin game, a shooting title based on Part 2 of the anime, uses original voice actors and features varied missions like shooting enemies and operating vehicles, shown in dynamic screenshots. Initial D Arcade Stage is a racing game based on the popular manga/anime, with the screenshots showing the iconic car and characters. These highlight the strong anime and manga tie-ins present at the show. This page continues the look at the 39th Amusement Machine Show, highlighting notable titles from Konami, Namco, and Taito. Konami is showcasing a diverse lineup. Alongside their music game mainstays like Pop and Music 7, they present Tsurugi, a new samurai action game utilizing a unique sword-shaped controller, and a thrilling gun shooter based on the movie Jurassic Park 2i. Also featured is Monster Gate, a metal game that incorporates RPG elements for a fresh experience. Namco brings the popular Wangen Midnight Racing manga to arcades with a tentative title, allowing players to engage in high-speed battles on Tokyo highways. They also introduce Moji Patan, a clever word puzzle game, and Smash Court Pro Tournament, a tennis game supporting up to 4 players simultaneously. Taito is highlighting Castle of Shikigami, a high-tension vertical scrolling shooter known for its score system and character abilities. The Sega also features prominently, with updates to popular series. Derby Owners Club 2 shows significant graphical improvements and deeper simulation mechanics, allowing for more intricate training and separate racing decisions. Virtual On Force is presented, noting the introduction of a magnetic card system for saving progress and the inclusion of new mechs and ranks, continuing the intense Mecha Combat series. The page also includes information about a ticket giveaway for the AM Show Public Day. This page looks at the state of the Dreamcast market following the release of Shenmue 2. After a significant price drop earlier in the year, finding a Dreamcast console has become difficult, with units selling out almost immediately at retailers, including a special model and Shenmue 2 itself, which saw incredibly fast sales. The article notes the contrasting situation online, where consoles can sometimes be found for less. It poses the question to the reader: with limited stock and varied prices, is now the time to buy or sell? The page also celebrates the return of the Dream Library online service, now updated as Dream Passport Premia, with a user-friendly interface. A producer discusses the service's revival, mentioning a slight delay but expressing enthusiasm for bringing classic titles to players. While noting the absence of PC Engine games this time, the service offers a list of classic Sega games from various series like Golden Axe, Shining Force, Phantasy Star, and Streets of Rage. A section also highlights that some legendary Mega Drive games, such as Penguin Cafe and 16T, are available for free download, encouraging players to try both familiar and new experiences. This page covers two distinct topics: a hit typing software and a massive Sega game music compilation project. First, we delve into Uchimomo, a typing software based on the popular Post-Pet concept. It's become a surprising hit in the PC market, selling an impressive 160,000 copies. A special limited edition featuring a pink mascot plush was announced for release on September 19th. The article highlights the software's appeal, attributing its success not just to cute characters and diverse game modes, but especially to its online features, allowing players to compete in rankings and download data from others for challenges. The developer notes that while many typing games target a male audience, Uchimomo successfully attracted female players through its design. The page also includes a ranking of popular typing software, showing Uchimomo's strong performance, alongside titles like The Typing of the Dead and Lupin III. The second major topic is SegaCon, a US voted project to compile the best Sega game music onto CD. The voting concluded in July, resulting in a massive collection of 100 songs spread across 6 CDs, a volume described as unprecedented. Volume 1, focusing on music from arcade, Master System, and Mega Drive titles, includes legendary tracks from games like Phantasy Star, Golden Axe, Outrun, Shinobi, and Alex Kidd. Volume 2 will feature music primarily from Sega Saturn and Dreamcast titles. A producer expresses gratitude for the enthusiastic fan participation and hopes listeners enjoy this curated collection. This page covers a rapid-fire round of gaming news from early September 2001. First up, the PC version of Phantasy Star Online was finally revealed at an Intel event. It's highlighted for leveraging PC hardware to add advanced graphical effects beyond the Dreamcast version, like improved light source processing and increased drawing distance, shown clearly in comparison screenshots. High expectations are set for its high-quality content, though details on connecting with the DC or GameCube versions are still unknown. There's also coverage of the rave event Wire 01, where Uga's new game, Rez, made its first public appearance. Attendees were treated to playable demos and demo reels, with Uga's CEO, Tetsuya Mizuguchi, himself reportedly getting on stage to play, creating a high-energy atmosphere that impressed techno fans. In movie news, Shenmue. The movie premiered with a stage greeting by director Yu Suzuki and the cast. The event was described as having a warm, at-home mood. Big hardware news dropped as the PS1 console saw a price cut to 9,980 yen, and a dedicated LCD monitor was announced for 14,800 yen, with combo packs coming later. Finally, a quick news roundup mentions Sega's coup targeting a 15% market share by 2003, the start of Xbox TV commercials in America, a Final Fantasy TV anime series planned for October, and a large-scale aerodancing event. This page covers a variety of Sega news and events happening in September 2001. An event for the Super Robot Battle Mailer software, where players battle robots via email, included a tournament that saw the magazine's team take third place. There was also a unique event, where the horse racing simulation game, Derby Tsuku 2, was used to make predictions for an actual bag 2-horse race at Nakayama Racecourse, simulating outcomes on large screens. Following Hitmaker's online shop, Sonic Team is set to open their own original item shop for fans. Sega's J-Phone Java app service, Sega Parade, received an update adding games like updated versions of Pengo and Flicky, and the full release of Hanabi Fight, plus the arcade classic Monaco GP, joined the Sega Ages lineup on the platform. The page also lists upcoming events including the World PC Expo, the amusement machine show focusing on arcade trends, and a Digimon event featuring Dare battles. This page presents a broader view of the gaming landscape, touching on PC software, multi-platform console titles, and the latest web-based news. Digicube, primarily known for distributing games via convenience stores, is making a significant push into developing and selling PC software, unveiling a range of products including desktop accessories for popular series like Parappa and Sakura Wars, various typing games such as Postpet Typeland and Digimon Typing Evolution, and simulation titles like Kibafan. This shows their intent to become a more active content creator. Shifting to console news, Eidos Interactive is expanding their presence, particularly on the PS2, with titles like the action game E.O.E, Eve of Extinction, the Strategic Commandos 2, and what appears to be Fear Effect 2, Urban Chaos, notable for its distinct, toon-shaded characters shown in screenshots. This indicates strong support for Sony's platform. In the realm of online gaming, Enix is recruiting monitors for a beta test of their upcoming online RPG, Deep Fantasy, offering players an early look at its world. Finally, the web news section from GameSpot reflects on the recent GameCube launch, while acknowledging ongoing developments across other platforms. Their weekly ranking of notable news includes previews like new screenshots for Dragon Quest IV on PS, announcements of a PDA capable of game development, release details for Tokimeki Memorial 3, and the revival of classic series like Xanadu and Dinosaur. The next page dives into a mix of mobile, character tines, events, and the weekly web news roundup. Kicking things off, Sharp's Zorus PDA is getting a blast from the past, with downloadable Famicom classics like Kuru Kuru Land and Balloon Fight, straight from 1984, available for 1,000 yen each. In a rather unexpected move, the iconic Pac-Man is hitting the pachinko scene. Sankyo is releasing a new pachinko machine featuring Pac-Man, blending traditional pachinko with game-like action sequences, which sounds like a fun crossover. Event-wise, there's news of a release event and autograph session for Memories Off Second, happening at SoftMap in Osaka, featuring voice actress Nana Mizuki. Also, the Tokyo International Gift Show included a section for it-related goods, showcasing character merchandise. Notably, Bandai showed off a talking, moving Hero from Mobile Suit Gundam as a digital pet. Finally, the GameSpot Web News Wrap-Up covers recent happenings like the European ECTS event and touches on various headlines from the past week, including updates on the PS2 modem, production notes for Shenmue 2, news regarding Metal Gear Solid 2, demos for the rhythm game Rez, and events like the Virtua Fighter 4 tournament final. The section amusingly suggests that Japanese gamers are happier than their European counterparts due to the sheer volume of news. This page kicks off with some intriguing news about an advertisement placed in Shibuya that's causing a stir. It features the text Rez alongside both the PlayStation 2 and Sega logos, a surprising sight given the console rivalry. Then, the popular game Forecast of Love is getting a trading card release, showcasing artwork and design materials. Moving on to events, the highly anticipated release of Shenmue 2 was celebrated with an event in Akihabara, where fans met the game's producer Yu Suzuki and voice actors, getting autographs and handshakes. There's also news about a character song collection album for Sentimental Graffiti 2 being released, featuring a best-of selection and bonus tracks. The page also highlights a present campaign offering PC software titles like typing Yokohama Yokosuka and Golgo 13 The Shooting, as well as a Super Robot Wars Alpha mobile strap. Finally, there's buzz about the popular TV commercial for Super Monkey Ball, featuring actor Masao Kusakari as a professor in a humorous series of ads promoting the game's release alongside the Nintendo GameCube. This page dives into the latest Dreamcast software sales rankings, giving us a look at what games were flying off the shelves. Taking the #1 spot is the brand new Super Robot Wars Alpha for Dreamcast, a huge strategy RPG title that fans were clearly eager to get their hands on. Right behind it at #2 is Let's Make a Professional Baseball Team, and Let's Play. a sports simulation game combining team management and actual gameplay that seems to be a hit. The visual novel/simulation game Comic Party is still popular, coming in at third, showing its staying power. The chart features a diverse mix of genres, including the fishing game Get Base 2, the unique card/board game Cul-de-sac second, and the ever-present online RPG titan Phantasy Star Online Verse Point 2, which continues to hold a spot in the top 10 at number 9. It's great to see such variety proving popular on the Dreamcast. This page presents the Anticipated Titles Top 30. A ranking of upcoming games that readers are most looking forward to. Taking the top spot is Sakura Wars 4, Fall in Love Maidens, the highly anticipated next entry in the popular visual novel/strategy series, featuring a screenshot showing the main cast together. Coming in second is Air, a visual novel from Key, known for its emotional depth, with a beautiful screenshot of the protagonist by a river. The third spot goes to Mobile Suit Gundam Federation vs. Zeon, an action fighting game featuring iconic mobile suits from the Gundam universe, the screenshot showing an intense battle scene. Further down the list, Memories Off Second, another visual novel, is highlighted as a pickup title. The ranking showcases a wide variety of genres anticipated by Dreamcast owners, from large-scale sequels and ports to niche visual novels and arcade fighting games, demonstrating the diverse tastes of the console's fanbase. It's clear that fans are eagerly awaiting both established series and new experiences on the platform. This page dives into what gamers are hoping to see ported to different systems, alongside a look at the current arcade scene. The Migration Wishlist section reveals what titles readers want on various platforms like Dreamcast, GameCube, handhelds, PlayStation 2, and Xbox. It's interesting to see games like Sakura Wars, Shenmue, Virtua Fighter 4, and Skies of Arcadia appearing on multiple lists, showing their widespread appeal and demand across different hardware. The page also features an arcade income ranking, giving a snapshot of the most popular games in Japanese arcades. Virtua Fighter 4 is sitting comfortably at number 1, a testament to its competitive strength, with Mobile Suit Gundam Federation vs. Zeon and Tekken 4 following closely. There's a pickup highlight for the upcoming arcade title, Castle Shikigami, a stylish vertical shooter. Virtua Fighter 4 is also featured as the This Issue's featured title, discussing its score attack elements and announcing news about official national tournaments, underlining its status as a major fighting game. Additionally, there are small announcements for the PS2 release of Crazy Taxi and Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper for Game Boy Advance, showing notable ports happening across platforms. This page presents a comprehensive software release schedule, heavily focused on Sega's own console, the Dreamcast, but also importantly showcasing Sega's expanding presence on other platforms. The main Dreamcast schedule details upcoming games with genres and compatibility notes, highlighting key titles arriving through late 2001. Notably, there's a mention of the Dreampoint Bank deadline and news about Rez, confirming its upcoming PS2 release and hinting at the Dreamcast version being close. Beyond the Dreamcast, the page provides a significant look at Sega's strategy to supply games to competitors. This includes releasing major franchises like Crazy Taxi, Rez, Sakura Wars, Space Channel 5 Part 2, NFL 2K2, and NBA 2K2 on the PlayStation 2. Sega is also bringing hits like Super Monkey Ball, Virtua Striker 3 Ver.2002, and Phantasy Star Online to the Nintendo GameCube, and titles like Gun Valkyrie, The House of the Dead 2i, Jet Set Radio Future, Panzer Dragoon Ortada, and Sega GT 2002 to the Xbox. Their reach even extends to PC, with games like The Typing of the Dead, and handhelds like the Game Boy Advance with Sonic Advance and Puyo Pop. This section vividly illustrates Sega's transition into a multi-platform publisher, bringing beloved IP to a wider audience. The page also includes a schedule for PlayStation 2 releases, and a brief note about the PlayOnline support site, relevant for online gaming fans. This page shifts focus to the PlayStation 2, showcasing a packed release schedule from late 2001 through 2002 and beyond. The bulk of the page is dedicated to large tables detailing upcoming PS2 software, listing titles with their planned release dates, publishers, prices, genres, and any special notes. There's also a prominent section titled PS. Now's the time to play PS, which serves as a strong endorsement for Sony's console. It highlights the growing lineup, mentioning key releases like the upcoming port of Dragon Quest IV and Mr. Driller Great, both planned for November 22nd. The text praises the PS2's improving cost performance as a gaming machine, and notes that publishers are starting to announce release dates for highly anticipated titles, suggesting the platform's lineup is now robust enough to challenge other consoles heading into the holiday season. A smaller section at the bottom provides an additional list of PlayStation releases from September and October 2001, complementing the main PS2 schedules. This page shifts focus to the next generation of consoles, highlighting the recent Japanese launch of the Nintendo GameCube and the upcoming BS launch of the Xbox. There's a section dedicated to the GameCube's release, noting its successful debut and positive reviews, mentioning the 3 launch titles available at release, though the main bulk of the page is taken up by extensive lists detailing the upcoming software lineup for the console, from late 2001 through 2002 and beyond, covering a wide variety of titles with planned dates, publishers, and genres. Similarly, there's a preview of the Xbox's launch in America, noting the November 8th release date and the quick sellout of pre-orders on major online retailers like Amazon and Toys R Us, signaling strong initial demand. This section is also accompanied by a substantial list of future Xbox releases planned for 2002 and beyond, providing details on publisher and genre for many titles. The lists serve as a comprehensive look at the burgeoning software libraries for both new consoles. The next page shifts focus to handheld gaming platforms, presenting a data station overview of upcoming and released titles for several systems. The prominent section covers the Game Boy Advance, highlighting the console's release and featuring a preview titled, "Anticipated New Titles Appearing One After Another." This text discusses games revealed at the Electronic Consumer Trade Show in London and the potential for new peripherals like a vibration pack, suggesting excitement about the Brigba's expanding library and capabilities. A substantial table lists upcoming GBA games with release dates, developers, prices, and genres. The page also includes sections for the Game Boy Color, WonderSwan Color, and Neo Geo Pocket/Neo Geo, each showing a console image, release details, and lists of games for their respective platforms, detailing similar information to the GBA list. Overall, the page serves as a comprehensive look at the software landscape for various handheld consoles at the time. This page highlights 2 essential strategy guides for Dreamcast players. First up is the Comic Party Capture Fanbook, an in-depth guide offering tips on navigating the dating sim mechanics, character-specific routes, and even includes interviews with the heroine's voice actresses. It's currently available and comes with a bonus poster featuring character artwork. Below that, we see the official complete guide for Canaria, another popular visual novel. This comprehensive book provides detailed event trigger charts, a full day-by-day schedule breakdown, and includes a guide specifically for the Dreamcast exclusive character. It also comes with an original postcard and is on sale now. Both guides are published by SoftBank Publishing and available through their website. The next page dives into the Reader Race, a popular bi-weekly feature where Dreamcast owners rank and review their favorite games. This issue, Race.118, presents the latest rankings based on reader votes. The familiar chart lists games by popularity, showcasing fan favorites like Sakura Wars 3, Soul Calibur, and the adventure RPG Skies of Arcadia holding high positions. The main highlight is the debut of Super Robot Wars Alpha for Dreamcast, making a strong entry at number 7. Reader reviews for this highly anticipated mecha strategy RPG are featured. Many fans expressed excitement for the 3D battle sequences, noting the improved character movement and dynamic attack animations. However, some comments touched upon the loading times before battle scenes and occasional pacing issues. Despite these points, the overall reception was positive, with players praising the game's depth and faithful adaptation of the series. The page also provides context on how the ranking system works and how games earn special recognition, like Hall of Fame status, through consistent high scores from the reader community. The Dreamcast Reader Race continues, ranking games based on owner votes. New releases are reviewed. Derby Stallion 2, a horse racing sim, gets praise for operational improvements like faster loading and race skipping, plus enhanced training depth, though graphics are a minor criticism. NFL 2K1, an American football sim, earns accolades for polish and detail, but suffers from limited localization and customization. Magic: The Gathering, a card battle game, is praised for its system and presentation, but lacks online multiplayer and has a small card pool. Neo Golden Loggers, a pinball game, is hindered by camera issues and small table sizes. Guru Guru Onsen 2 is criticized for its high cost and the removal of a popular mode, but its online mode is considered superior to the offline AI. This page continues the Dreamcast Reader Race, showcasing more highly ranked games as voted by players. Featured prominently are 4 adventure titles: The Virgin on Megiddo, 104th place, praised for its engaging characters and scenario despite some system complexities. Fate of Heart, 111th place, noted for its unique storytelling approach. And Canaria Kono Omoi wo Uta ni Nosete, 113th place, an adventure game centered around music, appreciated for its soundtrack and character interactions. Also highlighted is Eldorado Gate Volume 6, 159th place, an RPG volume seen as improving its story and system as the series progresses, though this volume presents increased difficulty. Rounding out the features is the action title Outrigger, 170th place, which is considered much more enjoyable when played online, offering customizable loadouts for varied gameplay. The right side of the page displays a list showing the ongoing reader rankings for numerous other Dreamcast titles. This page continues the Dreamcast Reader Race Rankings, featuring the game Comic Party prominently at the top right. This title is described as a simulation adventure game released in 2001, achieving high marks from readers, with an average score of 9.0909 and a respectable 8.0 from the magazine. Comic Party is centered around the world of doujinshi creation and events, with the Dreamcast version noted for significant enhancements over previous releases, including new characters, event CGS, a revised system, full voice acting, and overall increased content volume. Accompanying sections provide insights into the game's theme and development. One section encourages players to become doujin artists themselves, highlighting the experience of participating in doujin events. A comment from the publisher's representative, Suge, emphasizes the addition of new heroines and content, stating the Dreamcast version is powered up. Another panel offers trivia related to the game's niche culture. The continuing ranking list on the left displays numerous other Dreamcast titles and their current positions. Starting from rank 161, the commentary highlights that despite some minor system issues, the game's scenario and characters are strong, and the inclusion of abundant events keeps gameplay engaging. This page features the 10th ranked game in the reader poll, Kyuen no Kizuna. Zoku Genso Doji, a cinematic novel adventure game by Fog, released in 2000. It garnered an impressive 9.5069 average score from readers, significantly higher than the magazine's 8.0. The game is presented as a continuation, specifically the Second Coming Proclamation scenario. A screenshot shows a mysterious character, and another shows 3 of the female heroines, showcasing the game's event graphics. An interview with producer Norikazu Soseki delves into the game's development. He explains the decision to bring this complete edition to the Dreamcast rather than the PlayStation, citing the Dreamcast's superior graphical capabilities. The interview highlights how the Second Coming Proclamation scenario, initially conceived as a minor extra, expanded dramatically during development, adding substantial story content and event graphics to the point where it felt less like a port and more like an entirely new game, partly attributed to scenario writer Naoki Kato's extensive additions. The goal was to achieve a high level of completion and add significant value beyond a simple remake. The ongoing reader ranking list is also present on the right side, continuing the countdown of top Dreamcast titles. The next page continues the reader poll rankings for Dreamcast software, covering sections F and G of the extensive list. The commentary sidebars highlight the dynamic nature of the rankings, noting significant movement, especially for newer titles like Confidential Mission and Eldorado Gate. There's also a look at the lower end of the rankings, described as a battle for the bottom spots, featuring a screenshot from a fighting game, perhaps alluding to characters like Yamazaki from the King of Fighters series, vying for position. The magazine also teases upcoming releases expected to rank highly, most notably Shenmue 2, encouraging readers to participate in the next poll. A list of recently released and soon-to-be-released games is presented as titles likely to break into the rankings in the future. This page features a spotlight on the highly anticipated release of Shenmue 2, described as potentially the last major game for the Dreamcast. The article provides details like its 4-disc format and price, along with a review score of 8.0, noting the full reader average is yet to be determined. It discusses the game's pacing compared to the first entry and highlights the inclusion of a digest version of the original Shenmue on the disc. A section titled Reader Race showcases various opinions from readers, touching on subjects from other consoles, getting popular Sega titles to specific games and characters. The page also announces the official start of the all-hardware reader race, which now encompasses games across Mega Drive, Saturn, and Dreamcast, and excitingly introduces online voting for the first time, allowing readers to vote once per week for games released within the last 2 years. Furthermore, it details participation opportunities through prediction games. Readers can guess the debut ranking of specific upcoming titles like the visual novel Air, or predict the precise odds for a fighting game like Capcom vs. SNK 2 Millionaire Fighting 2001 when they enter the rankings. Winners of these prediction games and the main reader race receive special prizes, including a favorite game title and a commemorative phone card. The announcement of previous winners is also included. The overall tone emphasizes the excitement and competitive spirit of the fan-driven rankings as the Dreamcast era nears its end. This page features the Dreamcast soft review section, highlighting upcoming games. We have 2 titles reviewed here. First up is Boku no Tennis Jinsei, a tennis game released in late September. The overall impression from the reviewers, reflected in its score of 4.33, is that while it's easy to pick up and play, the content is rather shallow and lacks depth. Reviewers felt the core game was basic and didn't offer much beyond simple tennis matches, leading to comments like, "Only the ease of play stands out," and questioning why a game with such simple content would be released now. Next we have Air, the Dreamcast port of the popular visual novel by Key. This title received a high average score of 9.0, with multiple perfect 10s from reviewers. The consensus is overwhelmingly positive, praising the game's emotional story, particularly the depiction of its heroines, and the powerful impact of its music. Reviewers described it as deeply moving, like reading a poetry collection through a game, and highlighted the excellent production values, including the full voice acting in this Dreamcast version. It seems like a must-play for fans of visual novels. The soft review section highlights 3 Dreamcast releases. Garou, Mark of the Wolves, a fighting game, received a 7.66, praised for its port quality, strategic gameplay, and practice modes, despite some minor model criticisms. Memories Off Second, a visual novel, 6.66, focuses on relationships with engaging characters, especially the heroine Hotaru, and a user-friendly system, but with occasional pacing issues. Typing of the Date, a unique communication typing game, 8.0, blends typing with dating sim elements. Players interact by typing responses, leading to diverse conversations and minigames, rewarding players with good typing skills, and offering high replayability. This page dives into the heart of the amusement machine industry, featuring an expedition to the 39th AM show held at Tokyo Big Sight. This event is highlighted as crucial for industry professionals to preview the latest arcade game releases before they hit game centers. It also serves as a major draw for the general public on September 22nd, offering a chance to play new games, Purikura photo booths, and crane games for a 1,000 yen entry fee. The article notes that while the AM show has traditionally been a business-focused event, general public attendance has grown significantly. However, the industry is facing challenges, and this show is viewed as a critical opportunity to find a path forward. Efforts are being made to improve the show's image, moving away from the perception of game centers as dark places by using catchphrases like, "Tokyo Big Sight becomes a huge game center," to attract families. And an interview with a JAMA official positions this AM show as a reform year for the industry, with new leadership bringing fresh ideas. While attendance figures from the previous year show the AM show trailing behind the Tokyo Game Show, the focus remains on balancing the show's role for both business and game fans, promising new discoveries for attendees. This page delves deeper into the upcoming AM show, featuring an interview with Mr. Kunio Tanabe, the Public Relations Committee chairman for the 39th Amusement Machine Show. He discusses the show's move to Tokyo Big Sight to attract a broader audience, including families, framing the event as a reform year for the arcade industry. The article acknowledges the challenges facing arcades, noting a decline in overall attendance and concerns about younger generations losing interest in games. However, it highlights the enduring support from older gamers and the success of recent titles like Virtua Fighter 4, suggesting that experienced players still engage with the medium. The table shows sales and installation data for different types of arcade games, video games, crane, other, metal games, over several years, indicating a downward trend in video game sales, but growth in crane games. Despite the difficulties, there's optimism that new innovations showcased at the AM show can revitalize the industry. The show aims to provide an enjoyable experience for attendees much like visiting a theme park, especially with free admission for children. The article encourages readers to attend the show on September 22nd. Elsewhere on the page, there's a call for reader contributions for the Dorimaga Expedition feature, and a teaser for a follow-up article on Final Fantasy X and its impact. The images show the vibrant atmosphere of the AM show floor and classic cabinets like Space Invaders, reinforcing the long history of arcade gaming. This page presents a special project for Dorimaga readers, offering a big dissection of the newly released Nintendo GameCube, launched today, September 14, 2001. With a manufacturer's suggested price of 25,000 yen, this feature dives deep into the new console. The article highlights the GameCube's compact exterior and its use of 8cm optical discs, noting that this machine offers a distinct experience compared to previous hardware. The compact design and polished appearance were particularly praised, with some staff members finding it cute. The page includes detailed comparisons in size and area between the GameCube and the Sega Dreamcast, clearly showing the GameCube is more compact. It also compares the controllers and memory media, contrasting the GameCube's memory card with the Dreamcast's visual memory unit. The feature also lists the games available at launch, which include Luigi's Mansion, Wave Race, Blue Storm, and Super Monkey Ball. The overall impression conveyed is one of a fresh and distinct new entry into the console market. The Nintendo GameCube boasts a unique controller design with dual analog sticks, a large A button, and comfortable ergonomics. It features a D-pad, C-stick, XY buttons, analog triggers, and a Z button. The system offers vibration feedback and a weight comparable to the PS2 controller. The GameCube's operating system is calm and responsive, allowing navigation between gameplay, options, sound settings, memory card management, and a retro-style calendar. Other notable features include a carrying handle, expansion ports for accessories like a broadband adapter, dual AV outputs, analog and digital, and a unique push-button disc eject mechanism for its 8cm game discs. These choices highlight Nintendo's distinct hardware design philosophy. This page is dedicated to the Nintendo GameCube launch title, Luigi's Mansion. It highlights Luigi as the protagonist in this action game, with a unique gothic horror atmosphere and a distinctive Nintendo feel. The core gameplay revolves around Luigi venturing into a mansion he unexpectedly won, only to discover it's filled with ghosts. He uses a special device called the Poltergust 3000, developed by Professor E. Gadd, to suck up these spectral foes. The magazine emphasizes how satisfying the ghost-catching mechanic feels, noting that the sensation of pulling ghosts is conveyed through the controller's analog stick. Flashing the ghosts with Luigi's flashlight is the first step, followed by the vacuuming action. The reviewer particularly enjoys the tactile feedback and sound effects when successfully capturing a ghost. The game leverages the GameCube controller effectively, making the operations feel smooth, though slightly complex at times. The graphics are also praised, especially the ghost transparency and lighting effects. Screenshots show Luigi exploring the mansion, battling various ghosts, and interacting with Professor E. Gadd. Game Data lists it as an action-adventure title, released in Japan on September 14th for 6,800 yen. Luigi's Mansion plunges players into a haunted mansion teeming with ghosts across multiple floors and a basement. The core gameplay revolves around using light and a vacuum cleaner to capture various ghost types, including challenging boss ghosts that require specific tactics. Luigi's primary goal is to rescue Mario, navigating the mansion by finding keys dropped by defeated ghosts, solving puzzles, and avoiding traps. Players will also encounter mischievous boos, called terrasas, who are hard to catch. An interactive element involves elemental ghosts that can be used for specific effects in the environment. Crucially, Luigi utilizes the Game Boy Horror, a device provided by Professor E. Gadd, offering a map, a search function, and communication features, aiding in exploration and overcoming obstacles. This page is a spotlight on Wave Race, Blue Storm, featured as the second Nintendo GameCube launch title pickup. The page enthusiastically declares, "The waves are amazing!" highlighting the game's primary focus on realistic and dynamic water physics. It's described as the ultimate water surface battle, where players race water bikes across diverse courses, ranging from beautiful water cities to icy regions. The water surface changes dynamically, challenging racers to jump over swells and cut through waves. Mastering the waves is presented as the key to victory, requiring players to make quick judgments to navigate obstacles or even dive under bridges. The controls utilize the analog stick and AB buttons, offering a unique operational feel derived from interacting with the waves. Beyond racing, Performing tricks like spins and acrobatic moves during jumps is also emphasized as a fun part of the game, especially in modes like Score Attack. The game supports 1 to 4 players. This page highlights Super Monkey Ball as the third GameCube launch title pickup. While the core rolling game is good, the article emphasizes that the party games are incredibly fun, particularly modes like Monkey Fight and Monkey Race, which offer heated competitive play for up to 4 players. Even mini-games like Monkey Billiards are called out as being addictive. The significance of this title is noted as it marks Sega's debut on Nintendo's hardware. The lower section focuses on other anticipated GameCube titles from Sega for their fans. Phantasy Star Online is featured, praised for its 4-player simultaneous play and the potential for online connectivity. Sonic Adventure 2 is also highlighted, with the reviewer expressing excitement for new elements in this version. Additionally, Soul Calibur 2 is presented, promising a return of the series' signature excitement on the GameCube. The page concludes with a general positive impression of the GameCube hardware, finding it appealing and recommending it to all game fans. This page dives deep into supporting the Dreamcast ecosystem and one of its popular simulation titles. The top section showcases 2 guidebooks for Derby Stallion 2, known as Dabituku 2 in Japan. The Perfect Guide is highlighted as a comprehensive resource already available, ideal for players starting with this iteration, covering everything from game systems to horse breeding data across its significant 384 pages. There's also an upcoming Super Strategy and Deep Fan book, described as a passion project from the staff, offering advanced strategies, fan insights, and even tips for network tournaments, coming in at 192 pages. Below, the page makes a bold statement defending the Dreamcast itself, declaring it is not sinking yet. It proudly recounts the console's history since 1998, emphasizing the rapid and extensive release pace of dedicated software, detailing the sheer number of titles released monthly and weekly. To celebrate this rich library, a complete catalog of Dreamcast software and peripherals is heavily promoted. This full-color book is presented as a must-have for any DC owner, urging them to purchase it as a record of the system's prolific run and its many hot battles. This page kicks off a multi-platform feature, illustrated vividly as a wrestling battle royale between game consoles. The PlayStation 2, depicted as a muscular wrestler grappling with a large console on its back, faces off against a purple console character resembling the GameCube. Another character, likely representing the Xbox, is seen airborne. The dramatic imagery sets the stage for covering upcoming games across different systems. The main headline declares this: the multi-platform battle royale has finally begun. The page highlights several titles that will be featured deeper within the magazine. For the Xbox, they tease Dead or Alive 3 and Air Force Delta 2. The PlayStation 2 gets coverage for Sega's Crazy Taxi and Gun Survivor 2. Handhelds aren't left out, with Super Robot Wars A and Street Fighter 03 Upper for the Game Boy Advance, and Sakura Taxon GB2 for the Game Boy Color. The accompanying text frames these releases as combatants entering the ring, noting that Dead or Alive 3 was the first to step up. The article promises further details on these games on the listed pages, positioning the competition between consoles as a key event in the gaming landscape. The artist is Samshin Yoshimatsu, and a note indicates the commentary is entirely fictional. This page continues the multi-platform coverage, focusing on the upcoming Xbox title, Dead or Alive 3, which was highlighted in the previous page's console battle royale theme as the first entrant for Xbox. The article details the progress of characters towards the game's overseas release. Featured prominently are 3 returning characters, Lei Fang, Helena, and Tina. The page showcases their updated looks and costumes in Dua 3. Lei Fang's new China dress is highlighted, noting its glossy satin texture and refined design. Helena's costume is described as retaining her previous game's style, featuring a contrast of shiny silver and matte black materials and appearing layered. Tina's graphical model is praised for conveying a sense of power, specifically mentioning the detailed rendering of her abdominal muscles as a key point. The commentary suggests that while some characters' costume designs are finalized, others are still in development. The game data section confirms Dead or Alive 3 is a fighting game, but details like the release date and price are still undecided. This page dives into the stages being prepared for Dead or Alive 3, showing that significant progress is being made on the environments as well as the characters discussed previously. 3 distinct new stages are unveiled, a sunny, daytime beach stage, a traditional and colorful China street scene, and a stunning, neon-soaked Hong Kong at night. Screenshots illustrate the detailed visuals and dynamic action within these arenas, with gameplay shots featuring icons indicating move types like strike and throw. Developer comments highlight the atmospheric touches, such as the cooling shade on the beach stage and the vibrant green-yellow-gold palette of the China stage, and raise questions about how the interactive elements of these environments will impact gameplay. The article confirms that these new stages, along with a revamped Azuchi Castle area, contribute to the game's lineup, emphasizing the unique beauty and presentation each stage offers as development continues. This page introduces the new Snow Mountain stage in Dead or Alive 3, highlighting the snowy mountain setting as a distinct battleground, unlike previous forest environments. Gameplay screenshots showcase action sequences like strikes and throws, amidst falling snow and snowy landscapes. Developer comments confirm this stage was created quickly by a newcomer, and that effects are being refined. The page also touches on other aspects of the game, including a comparison between the US Duke and Japanese Akebono Xbox controllers. Discussions with the developer reveal details about character customization options, specifically new costumes that can be changed easily via a button, and character-specific fighting styles being emphasized, making each fighter feel more unique with enhanced traits like Lei Fang's holds or Jan Li's strikes. It's also confirmed that all characters will have ending movies, described as long and comprehensive summaries of their stories. The developer emphasizes that all previous characters will be present, except Tengu, who was defeated in the previous game. Itagaki's comment section expresses excitement about the game reaching a high level of quality, comparable to being near the summit of Mount Fuji, and praising the hardware's ability to display such visuals. The next page focuses on the impressive Azuchi Castle stage in Dead or Alive 3, detailing its 3 distinct fighting levels: the highly detailed castle keep, the tense rooftop battles with their subtle undulations, and the atmospheric ground level filled with environmental hazards. Screenshots showcase dynamic combat, including strikes and throws, across these varied settings. Developer comments reveal that while ending movies will be fully rendered CG, the in-game cutscenes will be real-time for a seamless experience. The story will continue to involve Doatek, confirming the passing of famed Douglas, while highlighting the ongoing importance of the Mugen Tenshin style. More details on the game system and characters, including male fighters like Gen Fu, are promised closer to the release date. The page also features a lighthearted section where Itagaki is shown holding a drawing, possibly a character design, and an entry from a Tecmo PR staffer reflecting on their relationship with Team Ninja. Finally, there's a call for fan engagement, asking for questions about the game's US version, suggestions for new costumes, and illustrations expressing the Dua soul. The next page delves into the world of flight shooting, focusing on Air Force Delta II and its move from the Dreamcast to the powerful Xbox console. The central theme is how the new hardware enhances the genre, particularly highlighting the game's ultimate graphics processing. The article features an interview with director Toshiyasu Kamiko, who discusses the development team's ambition to fully utilize the Xbox's capabilities. He explains that they aim to maximize polygons and textures, striking a balance between realistic depictions and gameplay considerations. Kamiko emphasizes that the visual quality is a major step up from the Dreamcast version, with notable improvements in areas like light rendering, atmospheric effects, and the sheer detail and quantity of aircraft shown on screen. He believes players will immediately see the difference when viewing the game's actual play screen. While the game has a subtle narrative connection to its predecessor, Kamiko indicates this isn't a major point of emphasis. The screenshots displayed showcase the impressive graphical detail achieved on the new platform. The next page continues our look at Air Force Delta II on the Xbox, focusing on how the gameplay elements are evolving for the new platform. The developers are pushing the scale of combat with impressive sequences featuring giant enemy fortresses and overwhelming numbers of adversaries. The game boasts a massive roster of over 70 distinct aircraft types for players to control. New gameplay modes like Mission Clear and Time Attack are being implemented to enhance replayability. The game also utilizes the Xbox's HDD for improved loading times and save data management. Director Kamiko emphasizes that while the story is stronger, the focus remains firmly on the core shooting gameplay. They are leveraging the Xbox hardware to deliver visuals and sound effects, including full Dolby Digital 5.1 support that were simply not possible before, aiming for the ultimate flight shooting experience. This page announces that Sega's first title coming to the PlayStation 2 is the worldwide hit Crazy Taxi. The article highlights that while Crazy Taxi 2 was already available on Dreamcast, the PS2 will receive a port of the original Crazy Taxi. It notes that the port aims to faithfully recreate the Dreamcast version, including all courses and modes. An interview with Crazy Taxi series producer Kenji Kano is featured, where he discusses the decision to bring the game to PS2 and confirms the PS2 version is a perfect port of the DC release, noting the main difference might be controller compatibility. The screenshots shown on the page are explicitly stated to be from the Dreamcast version, but the quality of the PS2 port is expected to be high. Basic game information such as publisher, release date, price, and genre are provided. The article also briefly mentions the simple controls, the choice of 4 playable characters with minimal performance differences, and the game's soundtrack featuring The Offspring and Bad Religion. This page continues the exciting news of the original Crazy Taxi making its way to PlayStation 2. It provides a historical timeline of the game's releases, starting with its arcade debut in 1999, the highly successful Dreamcast port in early 2000, the sequel on Dreamcast in 2001, and the confirmed PS2 port planned for late 2001. The article features more from the interview with series producer Kenji Kano, who expresses gratitude to the fans for their overwhelming support, stating that the PS2 release is a direct result of their passion. He reiterates that the PS2 version faithfully ports the Dreamcast original. The page also showcases the 4 main playable characters, Axel, BD Joe, Gina, and Gus, providing illustrations, basic stats like age and height, and brief descriptions of their personalities, giving players a glimpse of the drivers ready to pick up fares. Screenshots from the game are featured throughout, highlighting the signature chaotic taxi-driving action. This page focuses on Gun Survivor 2, Biohazard Code Veronica making its way from the arcade Naomi hardware to the PlayStation 2, continuing the theme of popular arcade games heading to the console. It examines the graphical transition, stating that while the PS2 has a different color palette, the port effectively replicates the look and feel of the arcade version, noting the success in maintaining the large texture sizes. The article confirms the game's planned November release on PS2 and its crucial compatibility with the GunCon 2 light gun peripheral. An interview with Capcom's Tomoshi Sadamoto provides insight into the development process, explaining how the project started as an arcade shooter and was chosen for a PS2 port partly due to the GunCon 2's capabilities. He discusses the challenges of porting arcade controls, but expresses confidence in the quality and content volume of the PS2 release. The page features screenshots showcasing the first-person shooting gameplay against zombies and character models, illustrating the game's visual style. This page highlights the release of Resident Evil Survivor 2 Code Veronica on PlayStation 2, focusing on its support for the GunCon 2 light gun. It details improvements made from the arcade version, such as adapting the unique movement system for the PS2 controller and GunCon 2, making it more accessible. A major addition for the home release is the exclusive Dungeon mode, which significantly expands gameplay beyond the relatively short arcade experience by adding new stages, bosses, and missions. The PS2 version also introduces character selection at the start, allowing players to choose their protagonist, while the other character acts as a partner in-game, emphasizing cooperative strategy. An interview with Capcom's Tatsuya Minami discusses the porting process, noting the different feel of using the GunCon 2 compared to the arcade cabinet, but recommending it for the best experience. He confirms the PS2 version retains the arcade's shooting exhilaration while adding strategic depth and substantial volume with the new mode. Minami also hints at potential future projects related to the series. The page features screenshots showing the game's different modes, character selection, and the arcade cabinet. The game was released by Namco on October 4, 2002, alongside the GunCon 2 peripheral. This page dives into Super Robot Wars for the Game Boy Advance. It highlights the game's arrival on the platform and introduces new series joining the massive robot crossover roster, specifically mentioning Martian successor Nadesico and Metal Armor Dragonar. The article also presents the game's original protagonists, the male lead Axel Almer and the female lead Lamia Lovelace. A notable feature discussed is the game's branching story paths, with 4 different narratives available depending on the player's initial choice of protagonist and robot series. The protagonist not chosen becomes an enemy unit in the chosen route, adding replayability. Screenshots showcase the game's tactical battle sequences. The page also features an interview with Super Robot Wars series producer Takanobu Terada. He discusses the game's development, noting the return to the series after a break and describing the story's volume as being comparable to past installments like the third or fourth Super Robot Wars. He touches upon the game's large character roster and highlights the introduction of combined attacks and support attacks as key new strategic elements that deepen the gameplay. The game was published by Banpresto and was set to release on September 21st for 5,800 yen. This page provides a deeper look into Super Robot Wars for the Game Boy Advance, focusing on its new gameplay systems and original units. It showcases the protagonist mechs, the real robot types Ash Saber and Lass Angriff, piloted by Axel Ulmers depending on the route, and the super robot types Solgain, Weiss Saga, and Angelegg, tied to Lamia Lovelace. The article details several key additions to combat, including the counter system, allowing for probabilistic counterattacks, and the shield defense system, which adds a layer of durability to units via shields with their own HP. Fan-favorite features like powerful combination attacks make a return from console titles, while the new support attack and support defense systems introduce tactical depth by allowing adjacent allies to participate in attacking or defending. The discussion emphasizes that Super Robot Wars acts as a defining entry, with the story significantly changing based on the player's initial choice of protagonist and robot type, real or super, offering diverse narrative paths. The game's difficulty is noted as being quite challenging, and the dynamic battle cutscenes are highlighted as enhancing the visual experience. This page delves into Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper for the Game Boy Advance, highlighting its features and the focus on connectivity. Capcom, known for their impressive port of Super Street Fighter II Turbo to the GBA, brings the latest version of the Alpha series to the handheld. A major draw is the addition of 3 new characters: Maki from Final Fight 2, a speedster adept with weapons; Yun from Street Fighter II Ein, known for intricate Chinese martial arts; and Eagle from the original Street Fighter, who uses 2 short staffs with a stylish technique. The game also includes the fan-favorite dramatic battle mode, allowing 2 players to team up against a CPU opponent, which can be played via the communication cable. An interview with Capcom's Noritaka Funamizu discusses the decision to port Alpha 3 to the GBA, emphasizing the inclusion of modes previously limited to home consoles, and the core concept of connecting players. The game is set to be released on November 30th for 4,800 yen, supporting communication cable battles for competitive play. This page continues with details on Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper for the Game Boy Advance, focusing on the strategic Vikism select system. Players choose from X, Z, or V isms, each offering a distinct fighting style impacting defense, attack power, and super combos. The page also features the thrilling 2vs1 dramatic battle mode, where 2 players team up with a shared life gauge against a single powerful opponent. Additionally, the page introduces an original GBA title from Capcom, the Monster Raising RPG Wild Edge, tentative title. This game involves exploring dungeons, recruiting monsters to your party by conversing with them, and raising them to increase their strength. The protagonist, a boy raised to control monsters, and his unique Hanawa-like companion, Hanabu, are showcased alongside screenshots of the game's turn-based battles and dialogue sequences. An interview segment delves into the GBA development process, discussing the hardware's characteristics, the ease of creating 2D games, and the challenges faced, such as cartridge capacity. The developer hints at exploring new gameplay possibilities, leveraging connectivity between games in the future. This page dives into Sakura Wars GB2 for the Game Boy Color, featuring an interview with the development team from Red Entertainment. Director Toshiichi III, scenario writer Yuya Chisato, and setting director Naoki Morita discuss the game, which is a shift from the first Sakura Wars GB title. While the first was a character-raising simulation, Sakura Wars GB2 is a dramatic RPG, aiming to be more accessible while still retaining the unique Sakura Wars flavor. The story picks up 6 months after the battle against the Kurokikai, centering on a mystery unfolding aboard the battleship Mikasa. Players must investigate, assist those in need, and recover lost items. The developers highlight how helping people affects gameplay, potentially granting new weapon designs or recovery items, making clearing the game smoother. Combat utilizes the series' signature Kubu mechs and special techniques called Koden. The interview touches on balancing the game to appeal to both longtime fans and newcomers, noting that some elements, like the ability to customize Koden, might be a surprising departure from the main series but are key to this version. Screenshots show pixel art character portraits and battle scenes. The page also briefly reminds readers that the original Sakura Wars GB was a simulation where you scouted members for the Imperial Combat Review. Sakura Wars GB2 allows players to customize their Kubu mechs with various parts, weapons, and Waza special techniques, influencing their combat characteristics. Players must strategically configure their Kubu for different scenarios and team members. The game features concept art of diverse Kubu types, including a scrapped prototype and a Kubu tank designed for tough terrain. Combat is turn-based, determined by a timeline, and utilizes spirit points for Waza. Enemies range from standard demons to the powerful Kuma. The Game Boy Color version adds unique elements, like a backpack inventory system where items must be arranged Tetris style. Helping NPCs yields valuable key items boosting partner stats. Finding dozens of rescuable characters, including the mysterious Iris, is a major game challenge and reward. This page presents a special report on Capcom vs. SNK 2 Millionaire Fighting 2001, prominently featuring detailed artwork of Mai Shiranui and Chun-Li, two iconic characters from the respective companies. The game data confirms it as a fighting game released by Capcom, supporting both offline and online play on the Dreamcast. The report itself promises in-depth coverage, revealing hidden boss characters, offering strategic advice for different fighting styles, and including an interview focused on the game's multi-matching features. The striking character artwork is also highlighted in a small message from the renowned artist Shinkiro, who confirms drawing representatives from both Capcom and SNK for this title. Capcom vs. SNK 2 features two secret, overpowered final bosses, True Akuma and God Rugal. True Akuma, fueled by dark power, is a significantly enhanced version, boasting devastating attacks and few weaknesses, potentially making him the strongest Akuma. God Rugal is a fusion of Rugal Bernstein and Akuma's power, incorporating signature moves like Ashura Senku and Shun Goku Satsu, now known as God Rikin and Last Judgment. This version possesses immense destructive force. Players face one of these bosses randomly after the final match by achieving high GP scores, performing finest chaos, and defeating invading characters during their playthrough. Successfully meeting at least two of these criteria triggers the encounter, making each final run a unique test of skill against these formidable opponents. This page delves into the mid-game invading characters and the post-final match normal bosses in Capcom vs. SNK 2. The invading characters, none other than M. Bison and Geese Howard, can appear right before the fifth battle. Their appearance depends on meeting specific criteria during the CPU battles, such as avoiding timeouts and limiting the number of times the opponent gets the first hit or a KO on you. The reviewer notes they fight at a high ratio, emphasizing the need for caution. After the final battle, players might face one of the normal bosses, Akuma or Rugal. These formidable opponents appear if certain conditions are met throughout the playthrough, including earning a high amount of groove points, landing multiple Seikos, defeating the invading characters, and finishing opponents with level 3 super combos. However, if the stricter conditions for facing the game's ultimate secret bosses, True Akuma or God Rugal, as discussed previously, are fulfilled, those encounters take precedence, and the normal bosses will not appear. Both normal bosses are described as powerful and, like the invaders, fight at a high ratio, making them significant challenges. The page features screenshots showcasing M. Bison and Geese in battle, as well as Akuma and Rugal, highlighting their impressive in-game models and the game's unique ratio system display. C Groove in Capcom vs. SNK 2 is a versatile choice, excelling in both offense and defense. It features a super combo level gauge that stores meter up to 3 levels, enhancing normal attacks slightly, but primarily fueling super combos. The gauge gains meter efficiently through hitting opponents, guarding, and even whiffing attacks. Key car groove features include dash, tactical recovery, rolling, counterattack, and air guard for aerial defense. The guide advises against overuse of guard cancels due to meter cost. Level 2 cancels are a crucial technique for extending combos. General strategy involves a balanced approach, utilizing defensive options alongside offensive super combos. Character-specific tips are provided. Rolant benefits from guard cancel attacks and air guard. Hibiki uses frequent level 3 supers, and Sagat controls distance with tiger shots and uses level 2 tiger cannon into level 2 tiger uppercut combos. This page dives into the details of the A Groove within Capcom vs. SNK 2, highlighting its unique mechanics. Unlike some other grooves, A Groove has a maximum gauge of 2 levels, but critically, only allows for 1 super combo level. The core of this groove is the original combo, a powerful, timed sequence activated when the gauge is full. During an original combo, you can cancel many moves into each other for a limited time, and importantly, there's startup invincibility. And the opponent cannot guard if they weren't already guarding when it started. Activating the original combo consumes the entire gauge, but you can throw in one super combo during the sequence. Standard subsystems are present, including dash, safe fall, rolling, and counterattack. The strategy for a groove heavily revolves around mastering the original combo. The guide notes that while continuous hits are possible, damage scaling is significant after the first few hits, so starting with high damage moves is key. Character-specific tips are given for optimizing original combos, featuring examples for Ryuhaku Todo, Maki, and Rugal Bernstein. They provide specific sequences tailored to each fighter's moveset to maximize the potential damage or advantage from the original combo. The advice emphasizes targeting opponents who are already in a state where they cannot guard, such as during their attacks or jumps, to ensure the original combo lands effectively due to its startup properties. Screenshots showcase the game in action, displaying various characters and the visual intensity of the original combo sequences. This page shifts focus to the P-groove in Capcom vs. SNK2, highlighting its unique blocking defensive system as the key to mastering it. The P-groove utilizes a super combo gauge, but is limited to only level 3 super combos and gains gauge slower compared to some other grooves like C-groove. It also lacks an attack power bonus. The standout feature is blocking by pressing the direction button towards the opponent just as their attack is about to hit. Down forward for lows / some mids, forward for others, forward in the air. You can nullify the damage and guard gauge loss, recovering instantly. Unlike the parry in Street Fighter II, it doesn't cause stun. The timing is difficult, but the payoff is significant. The P-groove also includes standard subsystems like dash, small jump, and tactical recovery. The general strategy centers around using blocking to negate damage and create opportunities for counterattacks. It's noted that since there's no rolling, air blocking becomes crucial against jump-in attacks. Character-specific advice includes using quick counterattacks after blocking, like Reiji's diagonal forward strong kick leading into an airburst, Yun's weak punch target combo into specials, or Benimaru's forward strong kick after guard against moves that leave the opponent at a disadvantage. Even encouraging baiting attacks specifically to block them. The core idea is to use blocking against obvious, punishable attack timings like jump-ins or wake-ups to gain the advantage. This page details the Scroove in Capcom vs. SNK2, highlighting its unique, extra gauge system. Unlike some other grooves, the gauge doesn't fill from normal attacks, but by holding down the strong punch and strong kick buttons simultaneously. This gauge accumulation starts slow but speeds up, and when full, grants a 1.15x attack power bonus for all moves. Furthermore, when your health is flashing red, you gain the ability to use super special moves freely without consuming the gauge, and if the gauge is also full, these become their powerful max versions. The Scroove includes useful subsystems like run, safe fall, small jump, and the unique dodge and evasion attack. The dodge offers temporary invincibility to strikes and can be followed by one of 2 evasion attacks, a quick, cancelable one, or a longer-reaching one that knocks the opponent away. The strategy emphasizes utilizing this evasion system to avoid damage and create opportunities, especially when your health is low and super special moves become freely available. Character advice includes Athena Asamiya focusing on mobility and chaining her command throw super into Shining Crystal Bit, Nakoru using her evasion attack into consecutive standing weak attacks before canceling into a super, and Morrigan Adinsland leveraging her strong run and low health supers like Soul Fist and Cardinal Blade. A key tip for gauge accumulation is to do so safely after knocking the opponent down, using the time they are recovering. This page focuses on the N-groove in Capcom vs. SNK2, a groove built for offense. The gauge fills conventionally through attacking and defending, and reaching max grants a stock. These stocks can be used for super special moves or activating the Power Max state. In Power Max, your attack strength increases by 1.2 times, and super special moves become their powerful max versions. This groove is known for its high destructive power, with the gauge carrying over between rounds like other Capcom side grooves. The N-groove includes subsystems like run, safe fall, small jump, rolling, counterattack, and counter movement. Its strategy is balanced and versatile, excelling in rushdowns using run and small jump, and is effective at breaking opponent guards. Character tips highlight Rock Howard using weak attacks into combos and leveraging Power Max for his supers. Eagle's stocks are primarily for Power Max, with the max version of his Union Jack Platinum being a good interrupt. Sakura is strong up close, especially after forcing opponents to block her Hadoken, following up with runs or strong attacks to corner them or bait guard crushes. A key tactic discussed is the small jump, excellent for cross-ups and allowing high damage moves. Landing recovery is minimal, enabling cancels into other moves or supers. You can even fake a landing to bait opponents and counter with a super combo. The K-Groove in Capcom vs SNK 2 is a high-risk, high-reward style. Its rage gauge fills by taking damage or successfully performing a just defense. Once full, the player enters a rage state, receiving attack and defense boosts. Rage time can be traded for super special moves, including max versions. Just defense, performed by guarding at the moment of impact, is crucial for survival. No Groove focuses on aggressive pressure, built on the run, safe fall, and small jump subsystems. Players aim to quickly build meter and unleash devastating offense during rage. Character-specific strategies include using Haomaru's powerful standing fierce punch, Change in Choi's high stamina, and Blanca's aggressive approach. The ratio system enhances K-Groove. Choosing a higher ratio grants more stamina and attack power, which synergizes with the rage state's boosts, maximizing damage potential and allowing the gauge to fill faster. This page delves into the state of the game industry's hardware and software landscape, highlighting the burgeoning era of online gaming and cross-platform connectivity. The central theme revolves around September 13th as a significant date, marking a historical moment for the industry with the realization of network connections between different consoles, specifically mentioning the PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast. The page surveys the status of key hardware platforms: Dreamcast, PS2, Nintendo GameCube, and Xbox, touching upon their network capabilities or plans. It also examines the software driving this shift, featuring popular titles like Capcom vs SNK 2, which, as discussed previously, is a major fighting game, and is presented here as supporting online play. Another game mentioned is Guru's Onsen 2, also seemingly relevant to online or cross-platform efforts by Sega. The imagery reinforces this, showing the consoles themselves, game cases for Capcom vs SNK 2 on both PS2 and Dreamcast, and a PS2 network adapter. The article poses the question about what the future holds following this breakthrough in connectivity. This page continues the discussion on cross-platform network connectivity, focusing on the breakthrough achieved between the PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast, spearheaded by Capcom. It highlights the development of network connections on consumer machines, notably realized with Capcom vs SNK 2. The page features an interview with Capcom's head of development, Noritaka Funamizu, who was instrumental in this project. Funamizu discusses how Capcom's prior experience with network development on Dreamcast was invaluable. He explains that the basic network service is similar to previous efforts, mainly utilizing KOTI's high-speed lines, which helps maintain high matching accuracy. He touches on the challenges of getting users connected to the internet back then, noting how cumbersome it could be. He reveals that the concept of multi-person matching began to be discussed after the completion of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, envisioning large-scale battles potentially involving dozens of players. He describes the multi-matching system, which is presented as a robust matching service. Its key benefits are highlighted: high-speed play via dedicated lines minimizing delay, strong privacy measures as communication occurs in a closed system, affordable pricing with a national flat rate, and ease of use requiring no separate internet provider application. The page includes a diagram illustrating this system structure, emphasizing the dedicated lines and equipment. A photo shows the press conference where this multi-matching concept was first announced, marking the beginning of its development. This page features an interview with Capcom's Noritaka Funamizu, delving deeper into the technical and philosophical aspects of implementing network connectivity, particularly the cross-platform battles achieved in Capcom vs SNK 2. Funamizu reiterates the goal of making network connection as simple as possible, contrasting it with prior cumbersome experiences, and mentions the integration of billing with phone services as a solution. He discusses the challenges encountered, including the complexities of establishing matching services and navigating legal issues. Looking ahead, Funamizu sees network capabilities as a way to breathe new life into various game genres, enabling simultaneous play for titles beyond just fighters. He stresses that offering games across multiple hardware platforms is crucial to ensure players can connect regardless of their console. The page showcases the process of setting up online battles in Capcom vs SNK 2, illustrating the steps from selecting the network mode, connecting to the server, entering the lobby to find opponents, and beginning a match. The screenshots demonstrate the user interface for both Dreamcast and PlayStation 2 versions, emphasizing the seamless cross-platform functionality. Fudamizu concludes with a message encouraging readers to experience the Dreamcast version's network play. Sega's Overworks division, led by Takashi Uryu, is focused on network gaming, aiming to transcend hardware limitations with their open device concept. This strategy promotes cross-platform connectivity, starting with ChuChu Rocket. Uryu views network integration as a fusion that enhances gameplay. Overworks has dedicated teams developing network titles like Sakura Wars Online and expanding ChuChu Rocket's online service, with a new project in the works. Sega prioritizes the network user and is open to alliances across platforms like Dreamcast and PlayStation 2. Open Device is envisioned as a service brand, and Overworks will evolve into a service-oriented company. The interview also covers ChuChu Rocket's current status, including updates with new minigames. The game's success is seen as a key step toward the open device vision. Uryu looks towards the future, emphasizing making network games more accessible and affordable to broaden their appeal. This page features an interview with Toru Ohara, the director behind the Guru Guru on Sen 2 series, discussing the realization of cross-platform network connections and the future it holds. Ohara dismisses the idea that network games will disappear, stating they are definitely here to stay. He talks about the open device concept not as a physical device, but as a multi-platform framework or database where user activity can be shared, emphasizing that the network itself is the true platform, transcending hardware differences between systems like Dreamcast and PlayStation 2. The goal is for users to be recognized as individuals within this network space. Games like Sakura Wars Online are mentioned as titles planned for this open device environment, highlighting the potential for content to exist across multiple systems. A concept diagram illustrates this vision as an open device theme park, showing connectivity between arcade, PS2, Dreamcast, and PC platforms. The page also shows simulated screenshots, one depicting potential user interaction on a PS2 network screen, and another confirming the announcement of the PC version of Phantasy Star Online, a groundbreaking online title originally on Dreamcast, showcasing the real-world trend of games expanding across platforms. Ohara concludes by expressing the passion within the development teams, and the belief that the enthusiasm for network games will only grow, leading to many exciting new experiences. He sees the development environment as vibrant and full of potential. This page dives deep into Shenmue 2, with a massive feature providing essential support for players. The main visual prominently features Ryo Hazuki alongside Shenhua, setting the stage for the game's progression. The feature is broken down into sections, including a story guide covering the events from Disc 2 onwards, an encyclopedia filled with useful information to help players navigate the game, and a side story offering insights from the developers and designers. There's also a recap of the previous issue's coverage, summarizing Ryo's actions in Disc 1. This section details Ryo's arrival in Hong Kong chasing Lan Di, his search for masters to learn martial arts, encountering characters like Joy, Ren, and eventually meeting the martial arts teacher who helps him learn the 4 martial virtues. Screenshots illustrate these moments, showing Ryo interacting with other characters like Joy and the Masters. Overall, this feature acts as a comprehensive guide and support package for players tackling the second part of Ryo's journey, promising detailed walkthroughs and background information presented on a weekly basis. It clearly aims to help players fully enjoy the game. This guide focuses on the early stages of Shenmue 2's Disc 2, starting with Ryo's introduction to Jianmin in the Wise Men's QRTR. The main activity covered is drawing books at the Man Mo Temple Library in Scarlet Hills, a timed daily task, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., involving QTES while carrying bundles. Failure results in time loss. Completing the task unlocks Ryo's day. The guide highlights key characters in Scarlet Hills: Lu Dang, the fortune teller; Ling Eisen, his wife; and Ding Luojin, owner of the Qitian building. Success in the book drawing task can lead to acquiring skill books, including moves like Batty Kick and Rushing Fist. The guide serves as a practical resource for players navigating this section. This page continues the guide for Shenmue 2, focusing on Ryo's progress after the initial book drawing task at the Manmo Temple. Scene 3 outlines the start of the investigation for Gren. Players are instructed to talk to people in Vendor Avenue and Scarlet Hills, as these are the only accessible areas at this point, highlighting the restricted map early on. Scene 4 shows Ryo attempting to return to the Manmo Temple library based on information, only to find the door closed, requiring him to wait until the next day. Scene 5 details the trial required to access the martial arts books, confirming the location as the Manmo Temple Library. This trial is depicted as the leaf-catching minigame, where players use the analog stick and A button to catch falling leaves, a test of focus required to earn the right to read the books mentioned previously. The page also introduces several key characters inhabiting Vendor Avenue and Scarlet Hills, who are central to the investigation and daily life in Wanchai. These include the martial arts shop owner Yu Mingyi, restaurant waitress Wei Lina, pharmacy owner Shi Yiming, herb shop owner Zuo Rongkong, and the feuding sisters Yuan Yingji and Yuan Mixing, who run neighboring shops, as well as the bone setter Kui Fengyong. These individuals provide valuable information or are involved in side activities as Ryo continues his search. This page continues the Shenmue 2-story guide, detailing Ryo's investigation in Wanchai. Scene 6 shows Ryo discovering a paper with the name Zhu Yuanda written on it inside a martial arts book, indicating its significance in his search. Scene 7 describes Ryo's efforts to gather information about the paper in the Thousand White Quarter, leading him to antique shops and suggesting the paper relates to a tea ceremony formation. Scene 8 highlights the importance of Gihua, who lectures Ryo on the meaning behind the tea ceremony formation, revealing its connection to understanding the paper's significance and Zhu Yuanda's associates. The guide also includes a section on learning new techniques, explaining how Ryo can acquire the sudden drop throw from Jianmin after helping Gihua, and potentially another technique like snake palm by visiting specific locations after learning the formation. Additionally, the page introduces several new characters Ryo encounters in the Thousand White Quarter, including shop owners like Yongming Tong, Gongkui Hong, Gofuku Yan, and Ren Cheng, as well as martial artists and members of the Yellowheads like Linyan Tian, Yigao Wu, and Mingquang Peng, all playing roles in Ryo's journey. This page continues the Shenmue 2-story guide, focusing on Scene 9A, where Ryo must use the tea ceremony formation to make contact with Zhu Yuanda's associates in Aberdeen and Wanchai. The guide explains that Ryo needs to visit various restaurants and bars to perform the formation, as not every location is suitable. To help with this search, the page provides a detailed map highlighting the key areas of Aberdeen, including Kaido Pier and Rodu Pier, and showing the path towards Wanchai. The map legend clearly marks important spots, like shops, event locations, minigames, and directional signs. The guide then lists specific restaurants and bars, locations A through E, in these areas, like the Blue Sky Beer Garden and various eateries, indicating their operating hours and showing screenshots of their exteriors. These are the confirmed spots where Ryo can attempt the tea ceremony formation to progress his investigation. This page continues the Shenmue 2-story guide, focusing on the tea ceremony formation quest in Wanchai. It features a detailed map of the Wanchai area, highlighting key streets like Ikogai, Fukusengai, and Saichingai, along with landmarks like the Red Gate and parks. The map helps players navigate this new district after leaving Aberdeen. Below the map, the guide lists specific locations, labeled a through J, within Wanchai, where Ryo can attempt the tea ceremony formation to progress his search for Zhu Yuanda. For each location it provides the name, like Guangdong Tea Room, Baiju House, Manmo Restaurant, Ernest Tea Shop, etc., the type of establishment, tea house, restaurant, bar, operating hours, and a small screenshot showing the exterior, allowing players to easily identify them while exploring. This serves as a crucial resource for completing this part of Ryo's investigation. This page from the Drama Magazine continues the Shenmue 2-story guide, detailing the events and encounters that occur when Ryo attempts the tea ceremony formation in Wanchai, following up on the locations listed on the previous page. It explains that correctly arranging the cups can trigger various events, though not all directly advance the main quest to find Zhu Yuanda. The guide highlights specific dramatic moments Ryo might face, including a confrontation with the Poison Serpent brothers, an event involving a young boy selling ducks, and an encounter in a dark alley. These events often involve QuickTime events, QTES, and the page shows examples of the button prompts players will see. It also describes what happens after these events, noting that some lead to free battles against one or more opponents, depending on the success of the QTES. The page also introduces several characters Ryo will meet or encounter in Wanchai. These include Ming Guliang, who runs a tea house, Xu Shibao, a restaurant owner, and Luo Zhengxi, a young boy selling ducks. Several members of the Yellowhead organization are also profiled, such as Jun Zheng, Fu Shirin, Wu Angguo, and Yuan Guan, detailing their roles and characteristics within the gang. The city. This section provides context for the people Ryo interacts with as he navigates the city and his investigation. This page continues the Shenmue 2-story guide through Fortune's Pier and Lucky Plaza. Scene 10 details Ryo's meeting with someone connected to Ren, which quickly devolves into a free battle in a confined area, with tips on using the environment. Scene 11 depicts a chase through Lucky Plaza, filled with free battles and QuickTime events, showing button sequences players must input successfully to progress. Scene 12 shows Ryo facing pursuit in Lucky Plaza, but managing to escape and rescue Zhang Shijian, possibly with assistance. Scene 13 reveals Zhang Shijian provides Ryo with a crucial lead. A letter from Ren, directing Ryo to the Heavens Building to continue his search. The page also introduces key characters Ryo interacts with. Zhang Shijian, a loyal follower of Ren, and several members of the Yellowheads, including the hot-headed Zhang Lu, the exactor An Shibao, the distrustful Li Shaoqi, the simple-minded but strong Wang Minglu, and the dangerous narcissistic Yuan who prefers using blades. Shenmue 2 features two key gameplay elements: collectibles and combat. The game expands on the Gacha Gacha capsule toys system, introducing 10 new sets with items inspired by classic Sega games and in-game elements. Sets include references to Virtua Fighter, Outrun, Hang-On, and Sonic the Hedgehog, encouraging players to collect them all. The guide also details the Killer Move attribute, a new combat mechanic that allows specific moves to instantly defeat weak enemies. While satisfying, the guide suggests this feature is limited in its practical use. The section also notes the continued presence of complex throw moves, and provides a table listing moves with the Killer Move attribute and their button commands. This page delves into Shenmue 2, spotlighting the character Fang Mei and her relationship with Ryo Hazuki. It highlights the progression of their bond, noting how Fang Mei's interactions with Ryo deepen, eventually leading her to call him by his first name. Her youthful energy and the game's active search conversation system allow for frequent and varied dialogues with her. The page also touches on various episodes and mannerisms of Fang Mei, including her reactions and opinions. A significant section addresses the transition between Disc 1 and Disc 2, explaining that the game shifts location and focus from gathering martial arts scrolls to activities centered around the Man Mo Temple. While the overall scale of change isn't immense, subtle changes occur with new characters and available actions. Other points of interest covered include observations in Hong Kong, like a girl practicing martial arts, and spotting Joy's bike. The page also notes the importance of fortune-telling, explaining that different fortune tellers specialize in different readings, offering useful information for progressing in the game, and even providing lucky numbers for the arcade's slot machines. Finally, it points out specific activities and locations, such as looking out for low-flying planes, the Catch the Leaves minigame, and a hidden area within the Pine Arcade that becomes accessible at certain times. It also reminds players about the necessary disc change during gameplay. This page features the second installment of a Shenmue side story comic strip, drawn by Kenji Miyawaki from the Sega AM2 development team responsible for the game. This volume focuses on the characters Ren and Wong from Shenmue 2. The comic depicts a chase scene where Ren is being pursued by individuals who seem to be rivals in his line of work, referred to as professionals. The panels show Ren running, panting, and attempting to hide from his pursuers, who express annoyance at an amateur interfering with their business. This offers a brief, humorous, and developer-created glimpse into the dynamic and conflicts surrounding Ren and Wong, outside the main narrative of Shenmue 2. This page features the second installment of the Shenmue side story comic. Titled, When Ren and Wong Met, this part continues the story from the previous page. It shows the younger version of Ren being beaten by two older, rough-looking men. One of the men threatens to teach you a lesson so you can't do bad things again. Garen is shown in pain, trying to ward off the attack. Just as things look bad, Wong appears, calling out Ren's name. The comic shifts focus to Wong, who arrives on the scene with a smirk, telling the attackers, "Heh, you guys have bad luck too." The final panel shows Wong with a determined look, ready to confront the situation. This page depicts the moment Wong intervenes to help Rin during an apparent altercation, highlighting their early relationship dynamics as seen in Shenmue 2. This page continues the Shenmue side story comic titled, When Ren and Wong Met, picking up immediately after the arrival of Wong. The large man from the previous page is shown intimidating young Ren, calling him a useless kid. Ren appears distressed and hurt. Ren hears his name called, confirming Wong's presence. The attackers, two older men, turn to face Wong, asking if he's Ren's friend. As Ren lies on the ground cursing his situation, Wong takes action. The men react in shock and pain as small explosions erupt around their feet, apparently caused by items Wong is dropping from a bag he's carrying. Wong then kicks one of the men, sending them reeling. The remaining attacker yells for Wong to stop, as he and his accomplice retreat, highlighting Wong's unconventional and effective intervention to help the young Ren. This page continues the Shenmue side story comic, labeled as Part 2, focusing on the less explored relationship between Ren and Wong. The vertical text emphasizes the depth of Shenmue by highlighting this connection. The comic opens with young Ren fleeing two attackers, expressing frustration and the realization that relying on others won't lead to strength. He feels like a burden. As Wong arrives and quickly deals with the assailants, implied from the previous page and the defeated attackers shown here, Ren stands observing. Wong looks at the boy and says, like Ren. The page concludes with Ren's thought, someday, suggesting an aspiration to become strong, possibly fueled by Wong's observation or the potential he sees in him, foreshadowing his development into the capable, albeit notorious, character seen in the main game. This segment provides a glimpse into the formative years and the initial dynamic between these two key figures in the Shenmue universe. This page features advertisements for two essential Dreamcast game guides from SoftBank Publishing. The top section promotes the Phantasy Star Online Ver2 Perfect Guide. This guide is highlighted as a massive collection of valuable information for all players, featuring significant additions and revisions to help players conquer Phantasy Star Online version 2. Preview images showcase the detailed content, including comprehensive area maps, enemy data with attack patterns and difficulty ratings, strategies for challenging boss battles, details on rare items with acquisition hints, secrets of mag evolution, and analysis of section ends and their effect on item drops. This guide, spanning 384 pages, was clearly designed to be the definitive resource for players tackling the expanded content of Verge 2. Below that, the page features the Crazy Taxi 2 Driver's Manual. Pitched as a guide to mastering the frantic arcade driving action, it promises illustrated explanations for easy technique mastery and map guides broken down by area, pinpointing key locations. It also details how to easily clear the game and take on record challenges, offering a complete strategy for the Crazy Pyramid Challenge mode. Hidden elements and information related to online services are also covered. This 128-page manual serves as a comprehensive handbook for becoming the best crazy taxi driver. The bottom section provides standard publisher contact information for SoftBank Publishing. This analysis of the online pachinko game Crossing Hisatsu Shigatonin, based on 50 hours of gameplay, emphasizes data analysis for identifying winning patterns. The review details spins, big wins, probability variations, and their durations, collected under specific game conditions. A minute-by-minute breakdown provides spins, outcomes, winning patterns, and pre-win forecasts. The review analyzes reach sequences, revealing the frequency and reliability of different animations leading to wins. Normal and evil person reaches were common. Compound patterns, especially sword reach sequences, paired with specific forecast types, showed high win rates. The game launched on August 2nd for 5,800 yen on the etc. platform. Character illustrations and screenshots are included. This page features a manga column titled Bi-Weekly Column, Iroiro Desu Kusukusu, by manga artist Izumi Takemoto. The top section includes a brief comic about ordering a new manga online, experiencing frustrating delays from June until August, only for it to be a first edition, leading the character to question why. The main column, entry number 9, is titled The Right Side of the TV on a Certain Day. The reviewer discusses a significant purchase, a new 42-inch plasma television. They humorously note it was their second most expensive purchase after their house, with the third being a gravestone, and mentions still having 22 years on the house loan. Despite the impressive new hardware, the reviewer finds themselves not fully utilizing it. Instead of playing games on the big screen, they are shown playing older titles like Game Boy Wars 3 on a Game Boy Color, or getting motion sickness from a PS2 racing game, likely a Ridge Racer title. The reviewer is also depicted searching for information about the game Outrigger on a cell phone, with the distinct Japanese character, quote, from its title displayed. The column poses a question to the reader. What do the right in the title and the character refer to? Based on the context of the magazine and the imagery, strongly suggests the game Outrigger, and right likely relates to the setup or activities associated with the television. This page features the Reader Submissions Corner, themed around a Dorimaga close call, special for autumn. Readers share various experiences, including getting sick as the weather cools, facing job interview failures despite auspicious magazine horoscopes, dealing with severe mosquito bites in summer, and humorously describing the unconventional sleeping habits at the editorial office, which range from chairs to the floor. One submission even recounts sinking massive amounts of time into Phantasy Star Online. Side columns include the Edamame feature and a segment advising caution with folk remedies. Further down, the Cinemas section highlights recommended movies. This includes features on the theatrical releases for Kamen Rider Agito and Hyakuju Sentai Gaoranger, alongside the critically acclaimed film, Go. A ranking of the top popular movies from late August 2001 is also presented, featuring titles like Spirited Away, Jurassic Park 2I, Planet of the Apes, and Pokémon Forever, offering a glimpse into the popular films of the time alongside gaming content. This page showcases a variety of reader-submitted illustrations in its upper section, labeled Illustrator People. These range from dynamic characters and original concepts like Fight It Out and Fragrance Tale, to a cute creature in a bath and a striking character reminiscent of Shade from Panzer Dragoon Saga. One piece even clearly references Guilty Gear X. The comments highlight aspects like character design, style, and atmosphere, reflecting the diverse artistic talent within the community. Below the illustrations, the page features a dedicated section for acclaimed game music composer Noriyuki Iwadare, known for his incredible work on series like Grandia and Lunar. He discusses his recent activities, including composing for a True Love Story 3 drama CD and working on character songs. He also reflects on a performance by the Hey Dance Company and the experience of working with voice actors singing his compositions. Iwadare mentions that soundtracks for the Grandia series and Lunar series are available, encouraging readers to check them out. His section provides a glimpse into the creative process behind some of the most beloved RPG scores on Dreamcast and earlier Sega consoles. This page features a collection of reader-submitted artwork in its upper half, showcasing diverse styles and subjects. We see illustrations ranging from dynamic characters, including one clearly referencing Phantasy Star Online with the text, "So," to depictions of aircraft like a Japanese Zero fighter. Artists from various prefectures contribute their pieces, with accompanying comments highlighting details like clean line work, intricate details, and the overall feeling conveyed by the art. There are also some humorous, more cartoony submissions, including a spiky creature expressing frustration about a sudden increase in workload. The lower section shifts focus to recommended reading under the banner, Book Me. This week's selection includes 3 books chosen for their ability to make everyday life interesting. Featured are an essay collection titled Yamosuki, a novel which is the internationally popular Bridget Jones's Diary, and an interview book with the Japanese techno group Denki Groove. The reviews touch on the unique perspective of the essayist who writes about things they ostensibly dislike, the relatable struggles and humor found in Bridget's diary entries, and the raw, unfiltered interviews with Denki Groove covering everything from technoculture to tour antics, described as having a chaotic, almost childlike vulgarity. It's a varied selection, offering insights and entertainment from different genres. This page is heavily focused on reader participation and specialized interests. The upper section features dedicated spaces for reader submissions, including illustrations and comments, for the Lowly Corner, Tentative, and the Shota Corner. Readers share their preferences and thoughts, with one submission making a specific reference to Phantasy Star Online in the context of the Shota Corner committee activities. The lower part of the page includes the 5th installment of musician Kuji Hayama's column, titled Hungry Character Creation, where he equates game development to a martial arts ring. Hayama discusses his experiences in composing music for games, detailing how publishers often make requests referencing specific styles, such as asking for music like that found in titles like Dragon Quest, or particular movie soundtracks. His profile highlights his work on games like Aniki and Messiah, and his independent approach to creating unique music. This page features a lively collection of reader submissions in a comic and commentary format, alongside a guide to recent music releases. The reader section, titled Fukawaha Picture Book Mountain, includes humorous illustrations and short comments from readers across different prefectures. Topics range from observations about the magazine itself, Dorimaga, to parodies of characters and situations, such as visual gags referencing characters like those from Daiji Sharat, often seen as Scape Doll and Shibaneji in parodies, and even Japanese baseball star Ichiro Suzuki in a Fun Ichiro section. The humor is lighthearted, often poking fun at the editorial process or reader habits. One section asks if a particular amusing observation was that an extra. The lower half of the page is a CD release guide, showcasing several new music albums and singles. Artists featured include well-known names like Anjeri, Chage and Asuka, and Sheng Sheng Typhoon, as well as artists like Kenju Kobayashi, Sound Schedule, and Tomu Iwami. This section provides a brief look at upcoming and recently released music, covering various genres and artists popular at the time. This page delves into various reader-driven segments, showcasing the magazine's interactive nature. One section features questions posed to a character or personality named Hagi, including an inquiry about the source of Resident Evil information, leading to a discussion about visiting Capcom's Osaka location, accompanied by a photo of the person behind Hagi. Another recurring feature titled Saw a Dream Like This presents reader-submitted dreams, some of which are bizarre or game-related, such as a dream about a game requiring repeating lines 3 times, or one featuring a strange mechanical piranha plant-like character. The page also covers online gaming, with a section called Net Game Go, discussing the recent end of service for the casual online title Guru Guru Onsen, and offering advice on connecting with other players and making friends within online games like Phantasy Star Online. Finally, the Searching for That Game question helps readers identify older, sometimes obscure, games based on descriptions, featuring requests about titles on platforms like MSX and PC Engine CD-ROM, with readers providing details about game mechanics or titles like Diva or Flappy, and the identification of a specific MSX2 game featuring human and carbuncle modes. This page features various interactive reader-submitted sections. One highlight is the Game Character Indiscriminate Stare-Down, showcasing fan art that playfully reimagines popular characters, such as Amy Rose from Sonic the Hedgehog and other Sonic-related designs, often with humorous or unexpected takes. Another fun segment, Game Fusion, invites readers to combine elements from different game titles to create quirky new concepts. Examples include merging Tokimeki Memorial with Resident Evil to create Tokimeki Biohazard, or combining Echo the Dolphin with Sakura Wars for Echo is a Dolphin. The page also includes other reader-driven content, like a manga contest section and a Q or exploration team feature, continuing the magazine's engagement with its audience. A prominent section is dedicated to Dorikara, the Dreamcast karaoke feature. Readers are encouraged to submit postcards, expressing their passion for favorite songs they want included in the karaoke library. Requests mentioned include songs from the popular Sakura Wars series, the visual novel game Pia A Yukoso, and a song related to the game Lumania. This section highlights the community's interest in personalizing their gaming experience. As a bonus for participating in the Dorikara Corner, there's an announcement of a giveaway where one lucky entrant can win a Dorikara unit itself. This page dives deep into the reader community, showcasing various ways fans can interact with the magazine. The Geeky Love Shuchoujo section features reader mail and fan art, demonstrating the creative energy within the fanbase. A point ranking lists active contributors, hinting at a loyalty program where submitted content earns points exchangeable for magazine, original goods, or even preferred game titles. The page provides a comprehensive guide to each corner, detailing numerous sections for reader submissions. These range widely, covering everything from daily life anecdotes and serious suggestions, to original art, manga, jokes, game catchphrases, and even a corner dedicated to cheering each other on. It's clear the magazine fosters a vibrant, diverse community space. Submission rules are laid out for both text and illustrations, specifying formats, sizes, and contact details, including both traditional mail and email options. This section emphasizes the practical side of getting your voice heard in the magazine. Finally, the page includes a column titled Naomi Manami's Open Sesame, by voice actress Naomi Minami. She shares personal anecdotes, reflecting on the changing seasons, her struggles with tidying up, humorously calling it a tidying up mania, and her enjoyment of playing PC games, particularly addictive dungeon exploration titles. The column also includes a short, charming piece about her dog, Purin, getting a haircut. A photo of Miss Minami accompanies her writing. This page features Fumio Kurokawa's column, Still Black Or, discussing the new Aibo robotic dog, noting its lower price and distinct bear and dog concept, with different personalities based on color. He then delves into the curious use of wordplay by game companies for console release dates, touching on PlayStation, PS2, Dreamcast, and the upcoming Japanese launch of Xbox. Kurokawa analyzes Microsoft's powerful position and strategy, noting the involvement of major Japanese developers like Capcom, Tecmo, and Konami, and speculates about a mysterious Mr. X guiding the Xbox launch from Seattle. Below the column is a news roundup from September 1st to 7th, highlighting various industry events. This includes Knott's announcement of a home appliance control robot, attendance figures for Tokyo DisneySea's opening day, a joint investment initiative for game development ventures, Tecmo's change in president, and Universal Studios Japan reaching a visitor milestone. The news also covers Enix's stock split and Konami issuing game-specific corporate bonds tied to titles like Metal Gear Solid 2 and Suikoden. This page features anime news. The main focus is on the upcoming DVD box release of Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water, based on Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Seas. Releasing on October 30th, this set compiles all 39 episodes across 10 discs. The anime was popular during its 1990 broadcast and was created by key staff who would later work on Neon Genesis Evangelion, including director Hideaki Anno. The DVD box includes special features like a figure, booklet, and bonus video discs. The page provides a brief story summary. In 1889, Jean attends a flying contest in Paris and meets Nadia, a girl with a mysterious jewel called the Blue Water. Their encounter pulls them into an adventure involving the gem and the enigmatic Neo-Atlantis organization. Character profiles are also included for Nadia, voiced by Yoshino Takamori, Jean, voiced by Noriko Hidaka, and Marie, voiced by Yuko Mizutani, highlighting their personalities and roles. Additional information covers related merchandise, such as a limited edition Nadia figure included with the DVD box, and mentions the official Gainax website for more details on this and other titles. Finally, there are two pickup sections. One highlights the Kindaichi Case Files, a mystery anime series based on the popular manga, airing on Animax and Megazone. The other features Comic Party, an anime adapted from a game, broadcast on Kids Station. This page highlights upcoming VC and DVD anime releases, covering a range of genres popular at the time. Featured titles include Alien 9 Volume 2, continuing the unique schoolgirl sci-fi action, and the final volume, X-Driver 6, bringing the A-driven car action series to a close. Also listed is Noir Volume 3, furthering the dark, action-packed tale of two assassins, and the light-hearted Ova Mahoromatic Emergency Report, quote, a special release tied to the popular Maid comedy series. Fans of classic fantasy get Please Save My Earth Volume 3, continuing the sci-fi romance Ova, while the Idol Defense Force Hummingbird DVD box collects the earlier Idol/Mecha Ova series for the first time on DVD. Finally, the legendary Future Boy Conan series gets a DVD release, starting with Volume 1, making this Miyazaki classic accessible to a new generation. The page also features music releases. A drama CD for Ojamajo Doremi, focusing on the character on Pu Segawa, is highlighted, part of a character album series. Additionally, there's an information CD about a theme song collection for the long-running police comedy series You're Under Arrest, gathering tracks from its various anime incarnations and offering a limited edition with bonus items. It's a solid lineup covering diverse tastes in anime and related media from this era. This page features the 125th installment of the Samushing Yoshimatsu Theater manga, titled FF Movie Release Commemoration Manga. The strip centers around the author, Samushing Yoshimatsu, reacting to the recently released Final Fantasy movie, likely Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within. He is initially overwhelmed by the film's technical achievement and emotional impact, declaring it the best of the year. However, the focus quickly shifts to the Final Fantasy game series itself, specifically Final Fantasy X, which was current around this time. The manga humorously depicts the struggle of playing through the game, with characters, including anthropomorphized consoles like the PS2, showing frustration and determination. The author comments on the difficulty, mentioning the challenge of clearing the game or even just getting past the early stages, contrasting the awe of the movie with the reality of tackling the complex RPG on the console. Characters like the Loft Girl and another figure marked 32 also appear, adding commentary to the gaming experience. Additionally, the page announces the upcoming release of the second compiled volume of the Samushin Yoshimatsu Theater manga series, titled Sega's Games Are the Best in the World, to Doridori Kyasusen, scheduled for early release at the Tokyo Game Show on October 12th. The author's profile at the bottom notes his background as an animator and manga artist, known for his work covering games. This page features a column by illustrator Makita Yoshiharu, titled Comic Wonderland, and subtitled Mokyu Mokyu Anyami Tengoku Ki, tentative. It includes a large illustration of a young anime girl with long blonde hair, styled in a ponytail, wearing a jacket and shorts, looking cheerful. Vertical text on the right identifies her as boyish Haruna, described as cute. In his column, Makita Yoshiharu discusses his activities after attending Comiket, mentioning purchasing the Mobile Suit Z Gundam DVD box set. His primary interest at the moment is a PlayStation 2 game, Mobile Suit Gundam, Guren's Greed, Guren's Ambition, which he notes wasn't released when he wrote the column, but feels compelled to play as a dedicated Gundam fan. He also expresses a desire for Mobile Suit Victory Gundam to receive a DVD release, hoping this wish reaches Bandai. At the bottom, his profile introduces him as an up-and-coming illustrator in the gal game scene, stating his title, Mokyu Mokyu Anyami Tengoku Ki, tentative, features 3 girls named Haruna, Kyoko, and Ayu, with the illustration likely depicting Haruna. In Gamer. When I was a child, Yasuhiro Hayashida, planning and development director at Law Entertainment, discusses his gaming origins. His passion started at a candy store, with arcade machines, playing classics like Pengo and Tank Battalion. As he grew older, he frequented arcades, particularly Kumagaya Gulliver, a hub for gamers. Working part-time at Kumagaya Gulliver shifted his perspective, emphasizing the joy of providing gaming experiences for others. This experience fueled his desire to create games. He believes diverse experiences and a flexible perspective are key to becoming a game creator, not necessarily formal education. The page features photos of Hayashida and a young boy at an arcade. This page features a significant advertisement or feature focusing on a Grandia 2 official setting material collection. The main headline touts the release of secret production materials, offering a complete look at the world of the timeless masterpiece, Grandia 2, all contained within this one book. The visual layout shows several sections previewed from the book, including character designs like Ryudo, world sections showing locations like Ajol and the Fuadeus area, monster designs, music staff interviews, and illustrations. There are also sections dedicated to animation, sub-characters, and the game's story. Details provided mention. It's a 4-size book with 176 pages, priced at 2,800 yen, excluding tax. It's a joint project with full cooperation from the game art production staff, edited by Shiota Nobuyuki and Krabs Project, featuring a cover illustration by Yuji Kanu, the character designer. The bottom of the page provides purchasing information via the SoftBank publishing website and contact details. This book appears to be an essential guide and art collection for fans wanting to delve deeper into the detailed world and creation of Grandia 2. This page provides a comprehensive guide on how to fill out the magazine's survey postcard. It instructs readers on where to put their personal details, desired presents, and most importantly, their feedback and survey answers. The survey covers demographics like gender, age, and occupation, as well as reading habits. It also asks about their thoughts on the cover art and how often they participate in surveys. A significant part of the survey focuses on the reader's gaming interests. It asks how many Dreamcast games they own and their level of interest in upcoming hardware like the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube, even prompting for the reasons behind their preference. Readers are also asked to rank articles from a provided list, Table 1, based on interest, and list the hardware they currently own or plan to buy from another detailed list, Table 2, which includes various consoles and accessories. Finally, it asks them to list desired software from the magazine's release schedule, The guide emphasizes clear writing and using the provided numbers for responses to ensure accuracy in processing. This page features a charming illustration of a witch-like character holding a round creature alongside various comic strips and text panels. It seems to be a regular column or segment titled Utsukibe's Digital Analog Channel, specifically the 17th installment covering the Costume Change Season, Part 2. The comic panels appear to be a lighthearted look at everyday gaming life. One strip discusses encountering a major electronics store opening nearby, leading to a rivalry with a local shop. Another shows a character discussing game prices, mentioning that they will sell things cheaper than Hamitsu-san and even cheaper than Pro Evolution Soccer 2 and Dokia, possibly another game or item. There's also mention of increasing articles about Final Fantasy. The column features multiple characters interacting, giving it a personal and anecdotal feel, likely reflecting the experiences or thoughts of the creators. The content touches upon the competitive world of game retail and the anticipation surrounding popular game series. This page features a vibrant gallery of illustrations contributed by readers and artists, centered around various video games under the title Dorimaga Illustration Color Annex, Autumn is Near, Costume Change Special. The artworks cover a range of titles popular at the time. You'll see illustrations for games like Shenmue 2, Sonic Adventure 2 featuring Shadow and Maria, Biohazard, Code Veronica, and even characters that appeared in Jet Set Radio Future. Each illustration is accompanied by a short comment from the contributor or the magazine staff, often praising the art style, character depiction, or referencing specific game elements like the dynamic look of a character potentially appearing in JSRF, the memorable duo in Sonic Adventure 2, or a scene from Biohazard, Code Veronica. There's also a fun piece featuring Getter Robo. A separate panel discusses recent submissions, highlighting the popularity of artwork related to games like Air, the Shining series, and Phantasy Star, indicating what was capturing players' imaginations. The segment serves as a colorful showcase of fan art and community engagement around these beloved titles. This page continues the vibrant showcase of reader-submitted illustrations in the Dorimaga exhibition gallery. Here, fans share their passion for various Dreamcast titles through their artwork. You'll find familiar faces like Cammy from the Street Fighter series, Mai Shiranui from Fatal Fury or King of Fighters, and multiple characters from the popular online RPG Phantasy Star Online, including depictions of the distinct character types and iconic scenes. The page also features art from the tactical RPG series Shining Force, showing a group of heroes ready for battle, and a piece celebrating Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning? Other unique illustrations are included, capturing the spirit of these beloved games. The comments alongside the art often praise the detail, express affection for the characters, or recall memorable moments from gameplay. Below the gallery, there are guidelines for submitting your own artwork and contact information for the magazine, encouraging continued community participation in the exhibition. This page continues the special coverage for Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning? Quote, this time focusing on the fan-favorite sub-characters Mel and C. Caprice. The feature provides a strategy guide on how to build trust with these characters, including a flowchart to help players navigate their interactions effectively. The highlight is an interview with Mika Kanai, the voice actress who portrays C. She shares insights into voicing the cheerful and friendly character, and expresses her long-held affection for the Sakura Wars series, recounting how thrilled she was to join the cast. The page includes a character profile for C, showcasing a screenshot and a quote reflecting her personality, alongside photos of Mika Kanai. This segment offers valuable information for players looking to deepen their connection with the Parisian Combat Review's beloved support staff. This page continues the in-depth look at Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning? Quote, focusing on the sub-characters Mel and C. Caprice. The main feature is an interview with Mika Kanai, the voice actress behind C. She shares her initial excitement upon joining the cast, being a longtime fan of the series, and discusses her impression of C as a straightforward character she feels is quite similar to herself. Kanai-san recounts the fun experience of working with the director and sound director, mentioning a humorous reference to an old Huyu TV commercial influencing C's character concept. She also speaks highly of Kuko Oshima, Mel's voice actress, describing her as reliable and cool. The page also includes a strategy guide, focusing on how to interact with C using the lip system during the game's adventure parts, covering timed events in various locations like the prop room, shop, backstage, and Teltar Plaza to build trust. Visuals include photos of Mika Kanai, character artwork of C in her iconic cat-made outfit, and screenshots showing interactions with both Mel and C in the game. Finally, there's an announcement for a special reader giveaway featuring signed merchandise related to the characters. This page provides a comprehensive walkthrough for specific events in Sakura Wars 3. Is Paris Burning? Focusing on interactions with the sub-characters Mel and C. Caprice during the adventure mode. The guide is structured by episode, covering events in both the second and third episodes, and broken down into various time slots and locations. It details how to navigate timed events at places like the market, flower shop, character apartments, the game shop, and the Chateau Noir entrance. For each event, it highlights the objective and, importantly, provides the optimal LIPS system choices needed to increase the reliability and trust of C and Mel. Key moments covered include a dining mode event leading to a circus visit, where bringing Mel and C successfully boosts their trust. The guide emphasizes the importance of making the right choices to achieve the best outcomes in these character interactions, illustrated with numerous screenshots featuring Osagami interacting with Erika, Glycine, Mel, and C in these various scenarios. This guide focuses on building trust with sub-characters Mel and C. Caprice in Sakura Wars 3, covering episodes 4, 5, and 6. It details optimal LIPS choices during free movement and specific events to increase their reliability. Episode 4 highlights key timed events impacting C's trust while scouting Lobelia. Episode 5 focuses on Cece's linked events at locations like the stage and shop, providing step-by-step instructions. Episode 6 guides players through escorting Koyama and participating in the Chateau Noir tour. Interactive moments during the tour, including specific click points and post-tour selections, are detailed as they affect Mel and C's trust. The guide is illustrated with screenshots and includes commentary related to Mel and C's roles. This page features a detailed look at Lobelia Carlini's personal Kubu F2, a specialized mech from the game Sakura Wars 3. Is Paris Burning? Part of a recurring segment titled Steamworks. This spread highlights the mechanical artistry of Mika Akitaka. The page provides a specification breakdown for the unit, noting its total height, dry weight, and armament, which includes the striking, scissor hands, and a ram. It confirms Lobelia Carlini is the pilot, and specifies the engine as a Reikishi power engine. Descriptions detail the unique aspects of the mech's design. The scissor hands are arm-mounted claws linked to a manipulator, while the shark mouth is a new addition from the previous model intended to instill greater fear in opponents. The ram is described as a reinforced, hollow steel structure used for powerful ramming and kicking attacks, capable of puncturing enemy mechs, with its red paintwork designed to evoke blood. Overall, the unit is presented as a formidable, close-quarters combat machine, designed to inflict significant damage upon contact. This page provides a detailed look at Lobelia Carlini's personalized Kubu F2 from Sakura Wars 3. Is Paris Burning? The main section describes the unit's role as a vanguard machine specializing in close-quarters combat, utilizing spikes and ramming attacks rather than ranged weapons, contrasting it with other Kubu models like Glycine's. Key features highlighted include reinforced structures for powerful impacts and kicks, and the infamous massacre labeling, explained as signifying great slaughter. The scissor hands are noted as updated with 4 fingers per hand, linked to a wrist manipulator for enhanced articulation. Lobelia's Kubu F2 is characterized by its high mobility and relatively light weight, enabling her aggressive, direct attack strategy despite having less defensive capability than heavier units. A side comic titled Nyan Nyan is also featured, depicting anthropomorphic cats and other characters in a humorous take on the high cost of living in Paris, fitting the game's setting. This page of the Hanamaga celebrates the birthday of Iris Chateaubriand from the Sakura Wars series, albeit belatedly, kicking off a new fan corner. It showcases a vibrant collection of fan art submitted by readers from various prefectures across Japan, each depicting Iris in different styles and outfits, reflecting the community's affection for the character. The page also dives into the highly anticipated Sakura Wars, the movie, titled Kakusho All Right. It features screenshots from the film and includes a reporter's speculative take on the plot, particularly focusing on the role of Ratchet Altair and her complex relationship with Lenny Mishaftig. The article ponders Ratchet's motives and place within the narrative, highlighting the intrigue surrounding her character in the film. There's a brief mention of a prize draw for readers who submit content related to the movie feature. Concluding the page is a section titled Love at First Sight with Altair, dedicated to more fan art, this time focusing on Ratchet, specifically her appearance or mech, Altair. It includes commentary speculating on her combat attire, compared to the standard Flower Division uniform. The page ends with a call for future fan submissions, and teases upcoming features on Ratchet, Sakura Shinguji, Erika Fontaine, and Kana Kirishima. This page dives deep into the challenging latter half of Super Robot Wars Alpha on Dreamcast, offering a thorough strategy guide for chapters 47 through 55. The intensity ramps up significantly, leading to the game's climax. A key point highlighted is the strategic split of your forces into 3 separate routes, starting from chapter 47, the Rakailung team, the Grengaran team, and the Goran team. Players must decide which path to take, influencing which units and characters they'll have access to during these critical missions. The guide emphasizes the arrival of powerful units during this period, such as Gunbuster, SRX, and Mazinkaiser, urging players to power them up, as they will be vital until the end. It also previews several key scenarios within this chapter range, giving players a glimpse of the battles ahead. The strategy session covers this entire demanding section of the game, helping players navigate the difficult choices and fierce battles to come, before the forces eventually converge again. This guide provides strategic advice for the latter half of Super Robot Wars Alpha. Around Chapter 53, the Huckabine Mk2I offers flexibility with gunner and boxer types. Choose your deployment carefully. Chapters 48 introduce the Guardial, Gundam type, and Galstrom, Danbine benefiting, combined units. Chapter 47, Battle of Men, recommends defeating the Angel Zeruel. Use stat-weakening abilities and at-field disabling techniques to secure rewards and bonus funds. Allowing Unit 01's destruction gives it the S2 engine, but costs repair funds. Chapter 48, Who Dances in the Pot, is a straightforward battle, clear within 5 turns for a skill point. The Cloud Saber is highlighted for its mobility and powerful attacks. Focus on strengthening core units for success in upcoming battles. This page continues the strategy guide for Super Robot Wars Alpha, detailing Chapter 49 titled, Path to Light, Path to Despair. The scenario is influenced by a choice made back in Chapter 30. Depending on that choice, the battle unfolds as either Pattern A or Pattern B. Pattern A immediately throws you into a fight against the Zentradi. The goal is to reach an escape point on the west side of the map. While escape is the objective, the guide suggests taking the time to defeat enemies, especially using Gunbuster, which arrives on turn 4 with Noriko at high will, to earn extra funds. Tricky enemies like Melia's Quadran Harao require using abilities like Concentrate or Sure Hit due to their high evasion. Pattern B starts with character duels featuring Isamu and Megilode, then Isamu and Gould. A key decision point here is whether to defeat Gould. Doing so grants a proficiency bonus, but he retreats, potentially making later stages harder. The Meltrandi forces appear later in this pattern. The guide stresses that both Gould and Megilode have very high evasion, again recommending Concentrate. A valuable item, the Pinpoint Barrier, can be acquired in Pattern B by defeating all Megilode units within a specific turn limit, which also yields a significant proficiency bonus. The core strategy involves utilizing your powerful units like Gunbuster, YF-19, and YF-21 to clear out the enemy forces efficiently. Chapter 50 of the Super Robot Wars Alpha Guide, Variable Formation, details the SRX team's combination. The SRX can be used up to 10 times after Ingram appears. The stage features Aura Battlers, specifically Drake and Todd. Prioritize defeating other enemies first to maximize rewards. Defeat Ingram and Drake last for maximum money and experience. Persuasion flags may allow Rimuru and Todd to join. The guide recommends using SRX on Enneagram, finishing him off with a soul-boosted attack. Drake requires a strong finisher when his HP is low. Chapter 51, Day of Dakar, focuses on protecting Quattro Bagina's unit, allowing him to reach the assembly hall. Choosing Reply as Char sets a persuasion flag for Heyman Karn. Clear a path for Quattro, utilizing terrain against the Titans. Use Spirit commands to quickly defeat pilots like Jared and Layla. Fu Murasame and the Psycho Gundam appear on turn 2, automatically joining the team. If the Hong Kong City flag is set, Camille can attempt to persuade her. Defeat Phone quickly to avoid damage. This guide focuses on chapters 51 and a related scenario in Super Robot Wars Alpha on Dreamcast. Chapter 51, Kingdom of Glass, tasks players with defending their base from enemy attacks, including Taurus and Gundam Mk2S. Players are encouraged to strategically position units and prioritize enemy destruction. Crucially, players should allow Hero Yui to engage Millield Peacecraft, setting a flag that makes the Gundam Epion easier to defeat. Attacking Epion with long-range weapons is advised. The related scenario, Asura Baron, Disperse, centers on defending the Far East Branch base. Players must defend the perimeter against machine beasts, led by Dr. Hell and Baron Ashura. The key objective is to defeat Baron Ashura's Bud by turn 4 EP, to prevent the appearance of the difficult Pichydron unit. Utilizing units with water compatibility and powerful attacks, such as Shin Getter 3, is recommended to quickly defeat Bud, particularly using the Hot Blood Spirit command for an extra skill point. Chapters 52 and 53 of Super Robot Taisen Alpha demand strategic play. Chapter 52, Vibration, features formidable enemies like Char and Glemmy. Focus and Flash are crucial for evasion, while Hot Blood Soul boosts damage. Recruiting PLE2, PLE then Judao, and Quest, Quattro, is vital. Chapter 53, Solomon Capture Operation, presents two paths: Macross Diversion or Forced Breakthrough. Both involve destroying 12 Rickdom 2s by turn 3. Dozle's Big Zam, with an I-field, requires solid rounds. Slegger's attack on Big Zam triggers a HP reduction event. Both paths offer skill points and potentially unlock powerful units like New Gundam HWS. This page provides strategic guidance for chapters 54 and 55 of Super Robot Taisen Alpha. Chapter 54, titled Battlefield of Women, discusses how a choice at the scenario's start significantly alters enemy composition and rewards. Choosing to pursue Judecca and Levi leads to a more challenging initial fight, with more enemies, but offers greater financial and experience gains. A key objective is defeating Levi's Judecca. Levi retreats when her HP drops below 50%, so hitting her with a high-power attack, like 5,000 plus damage using Soul or Hot Blood, when she's near that threshold is recommended. Judecca's own attacks are strong, so using Flash or Concentration is advised for evasion. The guide mentions upgrading units like the Valkyrie and SRX can help achieve the necessary damage output. Chapter 55, Rushing Through the Storm, tasks the player with reaching Solar Ray within 10 turns. The number of enemies varies based on the previous chapter's choice, but the victory condition remains the same. A critical event is the chance to recruit Gato. This requires meeting specific hidden flag conditions related to the prototype unit 2. Kodu Uraki is the one who can persuade Gato. But be warned, Gato might attack Kodu immediately afterward, so it's best to clear out nearby enemies first. While defeating all enemies is beneficial, the primary goal is reaching Solar Ray within the time limit. The guide suggests using spirit commands to efficiently clear a path. Chapter 52, Kingdom Collapse, offers a choice: escape with Grangalon or fight. Escaping within 4 turns maximizes skill points. Upgrade Grangalon's mobility. Fighting requires enemy annihilation by turn 4, with Hero's arrival on turn 4. Bilbine and Cybaster are suggested for effective play. Chapter 53. Crossfight. Demands Shu and the Bilbine reach Dr. J's media while protecting it. Defeat initial waves quickly after Shu's arrival. Eliminate all enemies, including reinforcements and Bishot's forces on turn 3. If Shu meets prior conditions and has high skill, receive the Bilbine. Night Camouflage. Skill points are earned by protecting the media and defeating Bishot. Utilize Cybaster and Bilbine's area attacks for strategic advantage. This page covers strategy for 2 scenarios in Super Robot Wars. Alpha for Dreamcast. Scenario 54, Return of the Foreigners, and Scenario 55, Queen Relena. Scenario 54 involves facing Drake and Bishot's forces. A key choice occurs on turn 3 when Shu appears. Accepting Drake's offer yields skill points but ends the battle quickly without rewards or Todd's recruitment. Refusing allows continuing the fight for experience, money, and potentially recruiting Todd if prior conditions are met and he survives. If skill is high enough, players acquire Lanek and Todd's custom Dunbine, recommended for Marvel. The scenario clears if Shu reaches a specific point, so defeat enemies before he does. Drake and Bishot need to be defeated, and players are advised to use units to block Shu's path if needed. Scenario 55 sees Excellent in the Weiss Ritter, isolated, and needing rescue from Campbellian forces, including Yamzan and his Titans, appearing on turn 3. Protect Excellent and move towards your allies. If Cybaster's pilot, Masaki, has sufficient skill at the start, he gains the powerful attack, Ranbu no Tachi. The page also highlights Wu Fei's ability, Provocation, to lure difficult enemies like Oleana and Big Gata one by one, recommending developing him for this. The page concludes by stating, the strategy continues in the next issue with Scenario 56, Zion's Mirage. This page covers strategy for 2 scenarios in Super Robot Wars, Alpha for the Dreamcast. The first scenario, number 52, titled Demon God Emperor, starts with only Mazinkaiser deployed. The strategy advises using the terrain effects of the Photon Power Lab. A critical choice arises. Selecting Anyway, Attack lowers enemy morale and buffs Koji, while also potentially bringing in Shingetter if you have enough rival points. Choosing Somehow in Time deploys Shingetter and Great Mazinger early with high morale. After completing the scenario, you get to choose between the standard Mazinkaiser and a power-up type that adds the Great Wheel Rocket Punch, though it now consumes End. The next scenario, number 53, Duel to Bet the Earth, begins with separation units like Shin Eagle and Bolt Cruiser. The goal is to destroy Boazanian discs to trigger the main enemy force arrival. On turn 4, the Gorathon team and Raideen arrive, allowing for powerful combination attacks. This scenario is also key for recruiting Hernal. You need to fulfill 2 conditions or flags, one involving him fighting a specific ally, and another requiring you to choose to let Hernal go after defeating the enemies. Fulfilling both flags ensures his recruitment without skill loss. Garuda appears on turn 4 with significant HP, and it's recommended to use combined attacks from Shingetter, Voltes V, and Combatler V to defeat him quickly. Scenario 54, Memories to the Future, demands quick action against Gilgilgan and Mechanical Gilgilgan, using spirit commands freely. Focus attacks, especially with Gorasan, to defeat the first Gilgilgan within 3 turns. Avoid the main character unit's defeat to trigger the Miracle event. Upgrade mobility for upcoming challenges. Scenario 55, Cry in Father's Arms, focuses on rescuing Kenichi against the Boazanian army. Use hot blood attacks early against Jangaru and Hernal's Skarlux. Position Voltes versus next to Hernal's Skarlux to trigger Persuasion Flag 3, potentially allowing Hernal's recruitment later. Protect Voltes V with defensive spirit commands. Difficulty drastically increases from Scenario 56. Fully upgrade units. This page continues the in-depth strategy guide for the Dreamcast version of Super Robot Wars Alpha, serving as part 2 of the pilot data section. It provides essential information for optimizing your team, detailing various pilots' key statistics, learned skills like new type or shield defense with their levels, and the spirit commands they learn along with the level required to unlock them. The guide explains how to interpret the data presented, focusing on combat abilities, shooting, melee, hit/evasion, and the strategic value of different spirit commands. Featured here are several pilots primarily from the Universal Century Gundam series, including familiar faces such as Katsu Kobayashi, Judao Ashita, Ru Luka, Elviano, Mondo Agake, Bicha Oleg, El Peo Ple, Quest Paraya, Keira Su, and Chima Garahao. Understanding each pilot's unique strengths and spirit commands is crucial for tackling the increasingly difficult challenges ahead, as highlighted in the previous guide sections. The next page dives deeper into the pilot data for Super Robot Wars Alpha on Dreamcast, serving as the essential part 2 of this guide. It follows the same detailed format as the previous page, presenting key information for various pilots, including their core combat stats, shooting, melee, hit, evasion, unique pilot skills like new type, shield defense, and deflect with their respective levels, and a comprehensive list of the spirit commands each pilot learns, along with the level required to unlock them. Featured here are pilots primarily from the Universal Century Gundam timeline, like Cecily Fairchild and Birgit Pyrie from Gundam F91, and USO Ewan, Marbet Fingerhat, and Odello Henrik from V Gundam. The guide also introduces pilots from Gundam Wing, such as Hiro Yui, Duo Maxwell, Trowa Barton, Quattro Winner, and Cheng Wufei. A special section highlights pilots from the classic Super Robot series, specifically showcasing Tetsuya Tsurugi and Jun Hono from Great Mazinger. It points out that Tetsuya possesses the powerful Soul Spirit command, while Jun learns the incredibly useful Miracle command emphasizing their importance in the game. Understanding each pilot's specific abilities and spirit commands, as laid out on this page, is vital for strategically deploying your units and maximizing your team's potential in the challenging battles ahead. This page continues the comprehensive pilot data guide for Super Robot Wars Alpha on Dreamcast. Following the format from the previous page, it details essential statistics, unique skills, and the spirit commands available to various pilots as they level up. Featured pilots on this page include characters from Space Runaway Ideon, such as Cosmo Yuki, Bess Karn, Kerala Ajiba, and Cheryl Formosa, showing their combat grades and spirit command lists like Hot-Blooded and Luck. The guide also extensively covers pilots from Aura Battler Dunbine. This section includes Sho Zama, Marvel Frozen, El Hummy, and Galaria Nyx. It highlights their proficiency in Aura Battler combat, noting skills like Holy Warrior and Deflect, along with their spirit commands. A small blurb specifically mentions the Dunbine series pilots are good for support later in the game due to certain spirit commands. The page efficiently presents key information for strategic team building, allowing players to quickly assess a pilot's strengths, weaknesses, and utility based on their learned spirit commands and unique abilities like shield defense. Understanding these details is crucial for mastering the game's turn-based combat. This page continues the pilot data guide for Super Robot Wars Alpha on Dreamcast, diving into pilots from Macross, the original and Big Breaker series, and detailing the protagonist's unique abilities. The Macross section features pilots like Ismu Dyson and Gould Goa Bowman, presenting their combat grades, key stats, and a selection of their learned spirit commands. This highlights their combat roles and utility. Next are the original and Jogbreaker characters, including Aya Kobayashi, Ryun Zoldark, and original SRW Alpha pilots, Kanji Akatsuki and Ri Akatsuki. The guide notes that Kanji and Ri appear later in the game, around episode 48, and specifically points out that Ri is valuable to raise, perhaps due to her potent spirit commands like Great Encouragement. A significant focus is placed on the protagonist. The page explains that the protagonist's base stats and available special skills vary slightly depending on choices made at the start of the game. It then outlines the 4 unique skills only the protagonist can learn. President, which grants bonus funds upon enemy defeat. SP Recovery, restoring spirit points each turn. Brave, providing neighboring allies with the Trust Spirit Command effect. And Concentration, which reduces the SP cost of spirit commands. Understanding which of these skills your chosen protagonist gains is crucial for maximizing their strategic potential in battle. This guide effectively allows players to assess the strengths of these key pilots for team building. This page continues the Super Robot Wars Alpha Pilot Guide for the Dreamcast version, presenting key pilot data for various characters who appear in both the Super and Real robot paths. You see profiles for pilots like Ryoto Hikawa, Tasuku Shinguji, Ryo Meilong, Leonajig Shurain, Kusuha Mizuha, and Rilkara Borgnine, showing their combat ranks in shooting, melee, and hit/evade, alongside stats like spiritual power and deflect. This breakdown helps players understand each pilot's potential role depending on which route they chose at the start of the game. Below the pilot profiles, the page highlights several rare but powerful spirit commands. It explains the effects of commands such as Resupply, which is vital for keeping units fighting, Exhaust for reducing enemy will, again for getting extra turns, Great Encouragement for boosting ally will significantly, Revive for bringing fallen units back, and Provoke to draw enemy attention. It also covers the Incredible Miracle command, which activates multiple beneficial effects at once. The guide identifies which pilots learn these valuable commands, emphasizing their strategic importance, particularly for tackling tough boss battles and maximizing the efficiency of your team. Raising pilots who gain these abilities is highly recommended for navigating the later stages of the game. This page features striking artwork of 2 cool anime-style characters posing around a classic American car. It acts as a dynamic table of contents, split into 2 main sections. The top part, titled Dorimaga New Arrival Information, previews exciting upcoming and recent releases. You'll find listings for games like the legendary fighting game Garou Mark of the Wolves, the intriguing RPG series El Dorado Gate Volume 7, visual novels such as Candy Stripe and Air, and even more niche titles like Typing of the Date, My Tennis Life, and Apache Slot Simulation. The lower section, Dorimaga-style Great Strategy Guide promises in-depth tips and walkthroughs for games already available or recently released. This strategy guide covers a diverse range of titles including the visual novel Canary, the charming RPG Daiji I Chariot Fantasy, the intense arcade shooter Zero Gunner 2, the popular fishing simulator Get Base 2, also known as Sega Marine Fishing, the horse racing simulation Derby Tsuku 2, the online communication game Guru Guru Onsen 2, the RPG random as Black Soul, the baseball management sim pro Yaku team Wo Tsukuru, and Asobu, and a feature on the flight sim Aero Dancing In. It's clear this issue caters to a wide variety of tastes on the Dreamcast. This page jumps into the action with a deep dive into Slank's highly anticipated fighting game, Guru Mark of the Wolves, counting down to its release on Dreamcast in just 13 days. The page prominently features dynamic artwork of the game's main characters, Rock Howard and Terry Bogard. It highlights the upcoming DC port, promising an experience that even surpasses the arcade version, claiming a 120% faithful reproduction. The article teases the full roster of 14 characters, stating it will reveal their special move commands and detail the game's 3 unique systems. Detailed sections are dedicated to Rock Howard and Terry Bogard, providing explanations of their playstyles and listing their key moves, including special moves, super special moves, and potential abilities. For Rock, the focus is on his aggressive style, using moves like the hard edge dash elbow and the rage run. Terry's section discusses his iconic power wave and burn knuckle, emphasizing the versatility of his power dunk as a vital tool for offense and defense. The page makes it clear that mastering each character's unique moveset is crucial. It also notes the Dreamcast version includes story and survival modes and incorporates original DC exclusive elements. This looks like an essential guide for anyone picking up this legendary fighter on the Dreamcast. This page continues the deep dive into Guru, Mark of the Wolves, focusing on the game's core mechanics and introducing more characters from the roster. It kicks off by explaining the crucial T.OP system, a unique risk-reward mechanic where players designate a portion of their health bar. When their health falls within this area, they gain significant benefits like increased attack power and health recovery. The Dreamcast version even allows you to choose one of 3 areas for this boost, adding a strategic layer right from the start. The page also highlights the powerful TOP attack, available while in this state. Following the system breakdown, the guide presents several more characters. First up are the Kim brothers. Kim Dong-hwan, who specializes in dazzling leg techniques and aerial follow-ups, and Kim Jae-hoon, known for his strong normal moves and devastating aerial attacks, including a powerful diving kick. Next, we see Marco Rodriguez, formerly referred to as Kushnudbutt in some early materials, a martial artist whose strength lies in moves with great attack priority and anti-air capabilities. Finally, Hotaru Futaba is introduced, described as having lower attack power but compensating with versatile projectile attacks and tools to break through defenses. Each character section includes screenshots demonstrating their key moves and lists their special, super special, and potential abilities, giving players a solid overview of their potential. This page is essential reading for mastering the unique gameplay of Guru, Mark of the Wolves. The next page delves deeper into the systems of Fatal Fury, Mark of the Wolves, introducing the braking mechanic. This allows players to interrupt certain special moves mid-execution by performing the input, offering strategic advantages. The text explains that hitting an opponent with a braking-compatible move often launches them, setting up follow-up attacks. It highlights the benefits of this system, such as creating combo opportunities and reducing risk even if the move is guarded, making it a valuable tool for skilled play. The page then introduces 4 more characters from the roster. First is Bee Chenet, known for her acrobatic leg techniques and aerial maneuvers like the Harrier Bee, along with projectile attacks, making her effective at controlling space and pressure. Next is the young ninja, Hokutomaru, whose key moves include his shuriken projectiles and teleporting attacks, allowing him to mix up opponents with feints and offense. Freeman follows, a character whose versus OB, Violent Orchestra of Beats, move is central to his offense, allowing him to weave through attacks while delivering his own. Finally, Gato is presented, a powerful fighter whose strong kick-based special moves like Reiga are crucial, with his Fuga move offering multiple follow-up options depending on the situation. Each character section provides an overview of their style, alongside screenshots demonstrating their techniques, and a list of their special abilities. Fatal Fury, Mark of the Wolves features the Just Defense system, which negates chip damage, recovers health, and reduces guard stun when timed perfectly. The page then introduces several characters. Kevin Rearian utilizes charged attacks, aerial moves, and throws like Hell Arrest, along with specials like Lucky Strike. The Griffon, a wrestling character, specializes in throws such as Hercules Rule and Big Fall Griffin. Grant wields Dark Flames, showcasing techniques like Geretsu for launching opponents, and super specials like Majin Hakyokudan. Kane R. Heinlein, also using Dark Flames, employs moves such as Schwartz Flame and Himmlisch Seele, highlighting variations in his attacks. The power gauge system is briefly explained, powering super special moves and potential abilities. Quote, "This page delves into the final volume of the unique episodic RPG series, Eldorado Gate Volume 7, highlighting key aspects just a month before its release. The focus is squarely on the revelation of Rajan and the Scriptures of Dios, two ancient texts seemingly central to the game's narrative climax. The page discusses the mystery surrounding these two documents, one said to be destroyed, and the other an original found in Florencia. It teases a possible connection between them, evidenced by similar emblems displayed by characters Gome and Valis when they interact with the texts. The revelation of Rajan is hinted to contain the story of human creation by an almighty god. Intriguingly, the page also explores a power that might oppose the scriptures, showing imagery of demons bearing a similar emblem. It references events from Volume 6, suggesting a deep, possibly sinister, link between demons and the divine elements. The emblems themselves are a major point of interest, with 3 appearing around the scripture's symbol, one representing Valis, and the others potentially hinting at returning foes like Xenon and Rame, or perhaps entirely new adversaries. Featuring beautiful illustrations by Yoshitaka Amano, this page masterfully builds anticipation for the series' conclusion by highlighting these core narrative and symbolic mysteries. The game information box confirms the game's details. A single-player RPG released on October 10th, compatible with VMU and Vibration Pack. This page continues the deep dive into the climactic 7th volume of Eldorado Gate, showcasing crucial narrative beats and new elements. It highlights a tense encounter where the party confronts Ain, but Gome, having witnessed Ain's past, struggles with the idea of fighting him again, revealing a significant internal conflict. Other scenes previewed include a gathering of various characters, underscoring the scale of the final challenge, and a moment where Mina impulsively rushes ahead, hinting at her growing impatience and determination. Furthermore, the page introduces key sub-characters essential to the unfolding story, and unveils the existence of a black market. This shadowy marketplace is depicted as a source for potent equipment, including weapons with formidable attack power, vital for players preparing for the endgame challenges. Featured characters include Gabo, Pun, and Niku, who contribute to the town's atmosphere and services, along with new faces appearing in Episode 18 like Pig, a novice trying to escape her monastery, and Laura and Imuda, religious figures overseeing different monastic orders. These elements promise to add depth and crucial resources as the heroes press toward their final confrontation. This page is from the Gabucon fan page section for Eldorado Gate, Volume 33, connecting the creators and readers. It features a staff voice from producer Hironobu Takeshita, discussing the completion and release of the final volume, thanking players for their support over the series. The page also hosts a character popularity poll currently accepting entries, showcasing the top-ranked characters chosen by fans, with Manama in first place, Arishin in second, and Radia in third. A significant portion is dedicated to preparing players for the 7th volume, by outlining the key players in the conflict between gods and demons. It introduces and describes major figures central to the climax, including the omnipotent god Dios, powerful entities like Balthos, Xenon, and Rami, the Holy Knights, and the forces aligned with the great demon Rajan, including his subordinates Bantros, Gulen, and Gaburi, and those who carry the soul of the demon god. Understanding these factions is presented as essential before diving into the final volume. Additionally, there's a brief overview of the game's release information, including volume details, genre, price, and the official website address. This page introduces additional characters from the romance-adventure game Candy Stripe. Building on the main heroines from the previous issue, it highlights some compelling senior figures and important patients who play significant roles. The section titled, Sub-Characters Are Watching, Main Character Grows Up Greatly, explains how these supporting characters help reveal the heroine's hidden feelings and secrets through everyday conversations, allowing the main characters to grow not only as nurses, but potentially in their romantic lives as well. Several key supporting characters are featured. There's Sadako Hiroko, a highly skilled but blunt senior surgeon who provides guidance. We also see Nikwa Asaki, a seemingly arrogant VIP patient whose circumstances are revealed through her interactions. The nursing school teacher, Fuchigami Nobuko, is shown watching over the students despite the daily headaches they cause. Yokoyama Setsuko is introduced as a cheerful and approachable pharmacist. Finally, Morisaki Shinta, the younger brother of one of the main heroines, Ayano, is shown as a hospital patient who sometimes speaks selfishly to his sister. The page also includes a character voice interview with Minami Nagasaki, the voice actress for Ayano. The game is a romance adventure from Sega and WoW Entertainment, released on the Dreamcast. This page dives into Air, the acclaimed adventure game from Key, the same developers who brought us Canon. This is the Dreamcast port, handled by NEC Interchannel, and it features newly added voice acting. The game is set in a quiet, small rural town by the sea. The story follows Yukito Kunisaki, a traveler performing street shows, who possesses a mysterious ability to move puppets without touching them. His journey leads him to this town, and an encounter with a mysterious girl. A profile is provided for the main heroine, Misuzu Kamio. We see her height, measurements, birthday, and blood type, along with her voice actress, Tomoko Kawakami. The page highlights her character, including a section titled, Another Me Is There. This explores Misuzu's recurring dream about a girl in the sky. The text hints at how this dream is connected to Misuzu, and the meaning behind Yukito's meeting with her. The game is categorized as an adventure game, and was released on the Dreamcast. This page delves deeper into the world of Air, presenting information on additional key characters and their relationships. One section focuses on Kano Kirishima, detailing a mysterious event where she is found singing at a shrine late at night before losing consciousness. Her profile provides her voice actor, height, and other physical attributes. Another significant part of the page explores the bond between Minagi Tono and Michiru. Described as always together, their relationship is central to the narrative. Despite Minagi's astronomy club activities during the summer, which means she's often alone, their connection remains strong. Michiru's profile lists her voice actor, height, and measurements, highlighting her youthful appearance. Minagi's profile is also included with similar details. The text describes a specific scene where Michiru appears sad at the train station, hinting at the complexities of their connection. The page features several screenshots depicting scenes with Kano, Minagi, and Michiru, offering visual glimpses into their stories and interactions within the game. This page introduces the Dreamcast title Typing of the Date, a unique typing love simulation game developed by Hudson. The game is described as being less than 2 weeks away from release, promising sweet love stories with 3 different heroines. The core gameplay revolves around typing messages to communicate with the girls you're interested in. The basic flow involves choosing from 3 dialogue options, and then correctly typing the chosen line. Success in typing accurately and selecting the right responses advances the date and increases the girl's affection towards you. The page highlights that clearing the 5th date event can lead to a happy ending. Beyond just typing dialogue, the game also emphasizes the importance of human relationships, suggesting that interactions with characters other than the main heroines can influence the story and outcomes. There are mini-games featured, which might include typing specific phrases or non-dialogue text, adding variety to the gameplay. The game also incorporates a life system, depicted visually as a meter, where losing lives results in a game over. The page shows illustrations of the main characters, screenshots of the dialogue choices and typing interface, and images hinting at various scenarios within the game. It's noted that the game requires a keyboard for play. This page previews the heroines in Typing of the Date. Players can pursue 3 distinct characters, each with unique challenges. Makoto Minagawa is a complex, strong-willed woman with hidden vulnerabilities, requiring players to navigate tense conversations and unexpected reactions. Ayumi Shirai offers a classic, youthful romance, demanding effort to overcome challenges and rivals. Shizuku Morimura is gentle and well-loved, suggesting a slow, nurturing approach, with her surrounding relationships playing a crucial role. The page uses vibrant illustrations and screenshots to preview the romantic journeys, showcasing dialogue options and scenes specific to each heroine's story. This page previews Boku no Tennis Jinsei, My Tennis Life, a unique tennis game aiming for realistic gameplay despite its cartoony look, while also incorporating character development. It's designed to be accessible for newcomers, but offers depth for tennis fans. The core of the game is the Tennis Life mode, where players create a character and guide them through a tennis career, competing in tournaments to raise their rank and ultimately become the world champion. Winning matches earns items like rackets and shoes, as well as points used to enhance player stats, allowing for customized character growth from youth to old age. Beyond the main career, there's a training mode focused on honing precision and timing, where players must return balls with increasingly difficult trajectories to improve their skills. The game also features exciting match options, supporting up to 4 players for singles, doubles, and even co-op play, along with customizable CPU matches using trained characters. The screenshots show the character creation process, in-game matches, training scenarios, and the player selection screen for multiplayer. This page introduces Pachislot Emperor Dreamslot Olympia SP, the second title in the series, arriving just 2 months after the first. This simulation collection focuses on replicating popular Pachislot machines from the long-standing manufacturer Olympia, including the chance to compete for prizes online. The game collection features 3 specific machines. First up is Ice Story, designed to be approachable for beginners while offering solid gameplay and bonus potential, even allowing players to earn up to 400 medals from a single bonus. The screenshot shows a machine with icy, fish-themed symbols. Next is Beat the Dragon 2, an evolution of the previous Dragon machine, focusing on raw power and metal acquisition. This game features a fierce dragon theme and distinctive gameplay mechanics, as seen in its machine screenshot. It's described as a popular machine that's been active for over a year since its release. Finally, there's Hot Rod Queen, a mass metal machine with a unique B-type style and dazzling production values, including custom start sounds and acceleration previews. The screenshot shows a machine with racing and car themes. It's known for surprising users with its features and reliability in bonus prediction. The game includes helpful modes like the Lecture mode, designed to guide newcomers through the basics of Pachislot, and the Challenge mode, which helps players hone essential skills like identifying small rolls, knowing bonus flags, and mastering replay techniques, crucial for maximizing medal acquisition. Success in Challenge mode can even lead to better prizes in the online competition. This page provides a strategy guide for the Dreamcast visual novel, Canary, putting this feeling into song. The focus is on the period leading up to July 20th, which is crucial for triggering the necessary major events needed to reach a character's ending and unlock all visuals. The guide emphasizes that attempting to pursue multiple heroines simultaneously before this date can prevent events from occurring correctly. After July 20th, the game transitions into summer break, where free movement is restricted, and only events specific to the heroine whose major events were successfully cleared will trigger automatically. Failure to complete these events by this point results in a bad ending. The guide includes essential event charts for specific characters, detailing dates, locations, and required choices. Highlights include tips for collecting Ayana Saeki's visuals, which appear in sub-events, and noting that Mei Hoshino's route is relatively straightforward, with fewer difficult choices. For Chiaki Shinjo, a specific choice on July 9th is pointed out as crucial to avoid missing a visual. Interestingly, Eri Hasaku's visuals are noted as being tied to events in another character's route, Megumi, suggesting players interested in Eri's CGS should also play Megumi's path. This page continues the comprehensive strategy guide for Canary, putting this feeling into song, focusing on achieving endings and unlocking visuals for 3 key characters, Senna, Mika Katagiri, and Megumi Kasaki. The guide details the conditions for unlocking Senna's ending, requiring a specific point total, either 85 points or exactly 35 points. It notes that achieving the 85-plus point ending is considerably easier by following the provided event chart, which lists dates, locations, and point values. Several supplemental notes clarify how to gain points from specific choices or events, such as getting 40 points for going home with Senna on June 23rd. For Mika Katagiri, the guide highlights the importance of sub-events, which contain many of her visuals. It provides a detailed event chart with recommended choices to trigger these events and ensure CG collection, including a crucial sequence of food choices on June 23rd that must be followed precisely. Finally, the section on Megumi Kasaki emphasizes a significant painting event series starting from June 25th as vital for her route and CGS. The guide warns that delaying the trigger date for key events in Megumi's route can prevent later, essential events from occurring, potentially leading to a bad ending. Her event chart also lists critical dates and recommended actions. The page features screenshots related to each character's events. This page features an interview with the staff behind the scenario and character creation for Canary putting this feeling into song. The interview includes scenario writer Kuwashima Yuichi, DC version event writer Kusahara Fumihiko, Masa scenario writer Takeuchi Kauta, director Sanjin Kei, producer Yamakawa Ryuichiro, and Megumi illustration scenario writer Yamaguchi Chinoboru. They discuss the game's story development, which began with a basic plot from the producer before the writers took over. A key point is how some characters, specifically Mika and Ayame, had their scenarios influenced by the writer's personal experiences, while Megumi was seen more as a fantasy character, created from ideas. The natural portrayal of characters is highlighted as an impressive aspect. The interview also reveals surprising details about the initial plot ideas, including a drastically different, intense, original plan for Ayame's route, where she could have potentially died in a fire, a concept that was ultimately changed for the final game. This page continues the interview with the creative staff behind Canary, putting this feeling into song. The team, including scenario writers, director, and producer, discuss further details about the game's development. A section highlights the differences between the Dreamcast and original PC versions, noting the addition of new characters, events, and visuals, alongside the removal of adult content. It suggests the changes made the DC version comparable to the PC original. Another key point is the discussion around reaching Sena's ending, described as the most challenging strategic element, made intentionally difficult by the director due to Sena's popularity among the development staff. The interview delves deeper into character creation and development. They discuss specific dialogue origins, like the memorable line, "Tremble and wait." The evolution of characters like Mana, initially planned differently, but adjusted based on feedback and the writer's background, and Senna, whose concept shifted from a cute child to a more tired character through production and voice acting, are detailed. The team also touches on the game's narrative structure, highlighting the blend of lighthearted daily events and more serious, heartfelt moments. Finally, they discuss the scenario for Ayame, emphasizing the desire to avoid a simple happy ending and instead present problems realistically, prompting players to consider how they would react. The writer mentions finding Ayame's scenario particularly impactful. The page features screenshots from the game, including scenes with Senna and Mana. This DGI Chariot Fantasy Guide for Dreamcast details essential game mechanics. Players navigate multiple character scenarios, each represented by a colored ribbon and distinct bell sound. Incorrect choices trigger a penalty system, leading to a game over after 3 mistakes, though this resets in specific areas like caves. In caves, consistent directional choices are recommended. The guide offers walkthroughs for character routes. Usada Hikaru's route is straightforward, starting at the village center. Kalera's route involves searching alone and sticking to serious choices. The Cecil and Kane scenario unlocks after clearing an initial route. It's less punitive and requires selecting Return to the Forest and looking at the sun and deciding. The guide includes character portraits and screenshots, showcasing the visual novel style. This page continues the detailed guide for DGI Chariot Fantasy. It provides walkthrough strategies for several more character routes and outlines how to achieve specific endings. First up is the Wendy route. The key here is simply to never choose options that would hurt Wendy. Throwing stones is definitely out. Think about her feelings, and you'll be fine, especially since most choices happen early on. The guide mentions a hidden ending for Wendy as well. Next, we cover the Rune and Luna scenario. You need to consider both sisters' feelings. Avoid harsh words towards Rune. Crucially, in this scenario, many choices relate to protecting Dejiko, so always prioritize her safety. The Erika route is also detailed. Erika is the deputy keeper, and the best approach is to be honest when asked questions. As with other routes, avoid silly choices, and since Dejiko is the core focus, prioritize her safety. The page also highlights specific endings. The Arabian Rose ending has a hidden variation, and apparently, the initial meeting scene is critical. For the Pucci Carrot ending, you'll unlock it by consistently selecting choices that favor Puchiko. Finally, the guide introduces the Yendrin scenario, which serves as a kind of true ending. You unlock this after clearing all 6 other scenarios. The strategy for Karin is simple. Don't be ambiguous with your choices. The page includes several screenshots illustrating key moments and choice prompts from each route, providing visual context for the player. This page continues the detailed strategy coverage, this time focusing on Zero Gunner 2. It picks up with stages 5 and 6, noting a significant jump in difficulty compared to earlier levels, with denser enemy waves and bullet patterns that require memorization. However, the guide also points out that despite the increased boss difficulty, there are often surprising safe zones. The guide highlights essential techniques for the latter half of the game. While aircraft choice is personal, mastering rotational attacks is key, especially for tougher enemies. Ramming enemies with your ship is also possible, dealing damage, but beware of temporary immobility after hitting tougher foes. Specific strategies are provided for Stage 5, the Asian Slum. It emphasizes dealing with durable enemies, utilizing the environment like buildings for cover against certain attacks, and a tactic for the crane turret mid-boss, suggesting quickly destroying one of the 3 units with an option attack. The boss guide focuses on the final boss, detailing its weak points, circled in the images, and noting that despite its imposing appearance, the hit detection on its arms is surprisingly forgiving, allowing players to slip through attacks. Strategies for both phases are outlined, including staying behind the boss during the second phase to avoid its powerful attacks. The page includes numerous screenshots illustrating these tactics and boss movements. This page continues the in-depth strategy guide for Zero Gunner 2. Moving on to Stage 6, the orbital elevator. The stage itself is described as having a pattern of enemy groups interspersed with the mid-boss encounter. The mid-boss fight is highlighted as a quick engagement, requiring rapid action. The guide illustrates its initial attack pattern with diagrams and screenshots. The main boss section covers Phase 1, broken down into the exterior and interior parts. This boss is noted for having a much longer battle duration and denser bullet patterns compared to earlier stages, demanding increased caution. The strategy focuses on destroying the various turrets on the boss structure. Screenshots illustrate specific attack patterns, including different bullet types and lasers, and provide numbered steps suggesting optimal player positions and targeting priorities to navigate the intense barrage effectively. The bottom section features the 4th installment of the PR Girl series, this time interviewing the sound staff of Zero Gunner 2, Xan and Iji. They discuss their process and specific contributions to the game's audio design. A small supplemental note reveals a humorous detail about the enemy helicopters, assigning animal types to them, and drawing a quirky comparison to the Japanese folklore character Momotaro. The page includes several in-game screenshots illustrating the strategy points and an illustration of the character featured in the interview section. To catch the big one in Sega Bass Fishing 2, the guide emphasizes strategy beyond just casting. Successful fishing hinges on lure selection and technique, with spinnerbaits suggested for versatility. When hooking a fish, patience is key. Let the fish tire before reeling slowly and steadily, avoiding over-reeling. If not getting bites, change lures or revisit fishing spots, especially after using the fish finder or camera. In the SGBTA tournament, catch regulation-sized fish efficiently within time limits to earn the Big Fish Award. Focus on single fishing points, especially narrower areas. While the fish finder is useful, the guide suggests visual spotting can be more reliable. The guide includes screenshots illustrating techniques and displays. Conquering Lake Rattler in Sega Bass Fishing 2 requires patience and strategic angling. This guide outlines 3 key fishing points: Hump Point, Tiger Marina, and Golden Fall. Hump Point demands seasonal adjustments, using deep diving lures around underwater structures. Tiger Marina's pier is a prime spot, with pitching lures under it. The left side offers casting opportunities. Golden Fall, a reliable area near the river entrance, benefits from midwater lures, particularly soft lures near structures and standing trees. The guide also details fish landing techniques, emphasizing rod control and gauge timing. Finally, it summarizes the obtainable lures through tournament progression, aiding players in selecting the appropriate tools for the challenging Lake Rattler environment. The next page dives into a guide for Darby Tsuku 2, the horse racing simulation game. It emphasizes the importance of investing in your ranch facilities and expansion, suggesting many players focus only on buying expensive horses. The guide covers how to utilize homebred stallions and maximize your domestic ranch, before moving on to comparing bloodlines. It notes that European lines tend towards stamina, while American lines, especially the northern dancer family like Stormcat and Danzig, are strong on speed but less versatile for early maturing dirt horses. A key section details the 9 distinct growth types for horses, explaining how to identify their peak performance periods. While early bloomers peak sooner, they also decline rapidly. The guide highlights that late bloomers, particularly those with specific comments, hold the most potential for high-class racing, especially if they show speed characteristics. It also discusses the Tsukuru registration system, advising players to register promising horses at their peak to capture their full potential. Screenshots show ranch views, stallion data, and growth type information. The next page of the Derbitsuku 2 guide delves into the strategic elements of training and facilities. It analyzes the benefits and drawbacks of using the Leave It to the Trainer automatic training feature, noting that while convenient, it might not maximize a horse's potential compared to specific trainers who have specialties listed, such as those for short distances or overseas campaigns. The guide also briefly touches on the development of new jockeys. A major part of the page focuses on expanding your horse park facilities. It explains that while the initial 3 facilities are preset, you can build 7 main facility types, expandable in stages, once your farm reaches a clump size. Crucially, it highlights that unlike main facilities, the effectiveness of sub-facilities is dependent on their location on the farm. Examples include building the breeding stallion barn near the pasture for better results, or goods shops facing roads for higher revenue. The effects of various facilities are listed, ranging from improved horse recovery and training efficiency to increased breeding success and the ability to race overseas. A unique detail is the mention of cat houses influencing temperament and coat quality. Finally, the page includes an advertisement for an official strategy fan book and a small blurb about the editor's trip to Hokkaido meeting jockeys. This page dives into the world of Guru Guru Onsen 2, giving players the lowdown on its gameplay mechanics. It highlights how you can become a master of the Hot Springs Investigation Division by collecting skills and customizing your character. The guide explains that earning points through play unlocks new skills, enhancing your abilities on the game board. It outlines several types of skills, including those that let you move multiple times per turn, use detective tools to locate suspects, or even temporarily halt trains or buses. There are also skills for investigating specific squares or checking criminal movements over past turns, adding layers to the investigation gameplay. Beyond skills, the page details how playing unlocks various character customization parts, obtainable through achieving specific game objectives like catching criminals within a time limit, getting consecutive correct guesses, or simply playing certain areas of the game repeatedly. It also points out a limited-time online event running until September 18th, where connecting to the Net Hot Springs allows players to download additional character parts without complex procedures. Screenshots showcase the skill menus, gameplay action, and examples of the character customization options, including a variety of quirky heads and accessories you can acquire. This page continues the deep dive into Guru Guru Onsen 2, starting by letting you know that there are now a total of 20 scenarios available, including the practice ones. New players are encouraged to start with offline practice before jumping into the online Net Hot Springs. To truly master the investigation, the guide emphasizes the importance of knowing the criminals. It provides a rundown of the culprits and their unique skills across the game's scenarios, giving you the edge needed to track them down effectively. Connecting with others is key, and the game makes it easy with convenient communication features like sending messages and using stamps. These tools are great for coordinating with friends or just chatting online. Finally, the page includes a heartfelt thank you for 2 years of Guru Guru Onsen and announces the Guru Guru Onsen 1 Grand Tournament to celebrate. There's also a special last day event planned for September 22nd for the original game, inviting players to join staff for one final session before focusing on the sequel. It's a great chance to connect with the community and celebrate the series. This page dives into a strategy guide for the Dreamcast simulation game Run = Dim as Black Soul, covering chapters 3 through 6. The guide emphasizes that the difficulty ramps up significantly in these later chapters, with more intense battles compared to earlier missions. A key highlight is the introduction of Katsumi, Yutaka's brother, who is being pursued as a rival for his parents' and lover's deaths. To counter the challenges, the guide stresses the importance of strengthening your mechs and weapons. The article introduces new RB units, including the Run = Dim F3 Beta, described as Yutaka's exclusive mech from Chapter 4. Boasting high performance surpassing the F3 Alpha model, particularly in armor and durability, making it great for the front lines. It also covers the Run = Dim F2 Full Armor, received after the Chapter 6 mission, an all-rounder equipped with mid-range rifles, long-range cannons, and a bazooka. The guide provides strategic advice for several missions, including defending a transport aircraft in Chapter 3, highlighting optimal unit placement, and focusing fire on key enemy units. It also touches upon strengthening methods, suggesting prioritizing cannon upgrades for initial firepower before boosting movement. The guide includes screenshots of the game's mech combat and a character portrait of Katsumi, posing a question about what has changed in him since his previous appearance. This guide offers strategic advice for chapters 4, 5, and 6 of Run equals Dim as Black Soul. Chapter 4, First Attack, involves destroying an enemy facility, utilizing Luis's upgraded unit, and defensive positioning against Skeltia forces. Chapter 5. New RB Attack tasks players with ambushing a transport, suggesting a forest ambush using long-range mechs, and highlights defeating the ace, Lawrence. Chapter 6. Reunion focuses on eliminating all enemies, including the rival Katsumi and his F=MD unit, by luring him into a forest ambush. Each chapter's strategy considers specific objectives, enemy types, Skeltia and R=MD units, and leverages terrain to gain an advantage. Successful gameplay relies on understanding enemy weaknesses and effective use of character units. This page provides a strategic walkthrough for Puro Yaku Team o Tsukuro and Asobo, a Dreamcast baseball simulation title. The guide focuses on how to build the strongest team in the Tsukuru create mode to then dominate the Asobu play portion of the game. It highlights that the game's balance leans towards hitting being more powerful than pitching, meaning even strong pitchers can give up hits easily. Therefore, the strategy emphasizes that for pitchers, pinpoint control and effective breaking balls are crucial to prevent solid contact, largely ignoring raw power or stamina initially. For fielders, the most critical attribute is running speed, which expands their defensive range and improves stolen base success. Building players with strong arms and catching ability is also recommended to minimize errors, creating a defense that can truly support the potentially vulnerable pitching staff. The guide also touches on using recommended coaches and practice menus to efficiently develop players. It suggests leveraging special events and even sending players abroad for significant ability boosts. Screenshots illustrate gameplay action, player stats, and menus, giving a visual guide to the concepts discussed. Essentially, success in this game hinges on creating a fast, defensively sound team through smart management and training to overcome the game's high offense environment. This page delves into the strategic gameplay of Puro Yaku Team o Tsukuro and Asobo, specifically focusing on the Asobu or play mode, building upon the team creation aspects discussed previously. It emphasizes that player skill is ultimately key in this action-oriented mode, regardless of how perfectly you built your team. A central theme is that timing is everything. For pitching, critical points include paying attention to the pitcher's condition, using the R trigger for tempo changes, employing a variety of pitching motions to confuse batters, and consistently aiming for the corners of the strike zone to avoid giving up easy hits. For batting, the advice is to go for a full swing every time, aiming for maximum power. Even if your timing isn't perfect, this increases the probability of getting a hit. The game also highlights the importance of running speed, allowing players to effectively steal bases. Regarding team creation, the guide mentions noting when players reach their peak ability for development planning. It also points out a crucial detail. Player dissatisfaction from the Tsukuru mode does not carry over and affect performance in the Asobu gameplay. This allows for easier trading and team restructuring without gameplay penalty. Screenshots illustrate gameplay action, pitcher statistics, and trade menus. This page dives into strategy for the challenging latter half of Arrow Dancing is AVE 8B Challenge and Cat Survival modes. The guide acknowledges the notorious difficulty, even among fans, stating that mastering these levels indicates becoming a truly advanced player. Key strategies are broken down step by step, with accompanying screenshots. For the AVE 8B, precise control is paramount. Avoid excessive tilting, and use subtle analog stick movements. The game highlights the importance of caution and managing your speed and position carefully, especially when using VTOL and air brakes for adjustments. When attacking targets like the tanker, the guide stresses the need to stay relatively low, as gaining too much altitude makes subsequent attacks difficult. For the cat survival sequence, the guide details navigating the initial sharp turns using VTOL mode and attacking the first aircraft carrier with your gun. It then outlines a path involving low-altitude flight, clearing height restrictions, attacking the carrier with missiles, and engaging ground targets near a castle before landing to finish the mission. The screenshots visually reinforce the required maneuvers and target locations for each stage of these demanding challenges. This page continues the in-depth strategy guide for the challenging Cat Survival mode in Arrow Dancing Eye. It covers the latter stages, beginning with Stage 6, where the focus is on using medium-range missiles and guns, highlighting that the F-16A enemy, while agile, has a relatively low pilot skill. Stage 7 instructs players to prioritize a gun kill on the destroyer, before swiftly engaging the aircraft that appear behind it with medium-range missiles. Stage 8 warns about anti-air vehicles near the runway in a dark night stage, requiring quick hit-and-run tactics before attempting the difficult landing. Stage 9 simplifies things after takeoff, advising a left turn to take down one enemy with medium-range missiles and the other with guns, noting no threat from the rear. Stage 10 emphasizes the critical first turn to immediately engage enemies that are already locked on, recommending a split sends or left turn, and focusing on eliminating one enemy quickly to avoid being trapped. Stage 11 acts as a brief respite for resupply, featuring only a single easy enemy before landing. Finally, Stage 12 presents a challenging dogfight, where the key to victory is manipulating the two enemies to attack each other, making the anti-air vehicles a lower priority once the aircraft are dealt with. The guide reinforces that reaching these stages signifies a high level of skill. This page features a detailed fan strategy guide for Phantasy Star Online's challenge mode, specifically tackling stages 3 through 6. The focus is on providing tactical advice to achieve S-rank times, suggesting that even slightly slower clears are achievable with effort. The guide includes a map and breakdown of Stage 3, set in the caves, detailing specific enemy encounters like Buffaloom and Narlily, and recommending the use of techniques like Foi. It provides instructions for navigating rooms with puzzles, such as a multi-switch sequence that requires players to press switches in a specific order, 1, then 234 sequentially, while another player stands on 1 followed by 3 players stepping on 5, to deactivate barriers, warning that red switches cause damage. Another section explains how to open a door by shooting the correct switch, noting that other switches trigger traps, and suggests options if a force or ranger isn't present to perform the task. The guide also covers party splitting and rejoining tactics for efficiency, as well as environmental interactions like breaking obstacles. A map legend is included, clearly defining symbols for switches, gates, traps, items, and more, making the accompanying maps easy to follow. While the page also lists game information, like release dates and peripherals, the core content is the valuable, player-tested strategy for clearing these difficult challenge mode stages efficiently. This page continues the in-depth challenge mode strategy guide for Phantasy Star Online, focusing on areas 11 through 14. As any experienced player knows, mastering challenge mode requires precise coordination and class-specific tactics, and this guide delivers just that. For Area 11, it details switch puzzles, including a sequence requiring specific presses, right center, and another involving stepping on pink while holding down light blue and green switches. It also outlines the force's crucial role in item identification and supporting the team by leaving recovery items in convenient locations, a vital tactic often overlooked. Moving into Area 12, the guide emphasizes conserving HP by rushing past enemies after a gate opens and navigating dangerous paths by staying within designated light areas, a classic challenge mode challenge. A split party tactic is highlighted, where one player, likely a ranger, handles specific water switches in Area 13 before rejoining the main group. The force's role continues to be emphasized in later areas, focusing on keeping the shift buff active on hunters and activating switches only after combat is complete to ensure the team's safety. The guide advises skipping optional hidden rooms in Area 13 to optimize clear time towards Area 14. The page provides clear maps for each section and screenshots illustrating key moments and puzzles. This is solid advice for any team aiming for those high challenge mode ranks. This page continues the in-depth challenge mode strategy guide for Phantasy Star Online, focusing on Stage 4, known as Cave 3. The guide suggests it's possible to defeat the boss, de Relais, and clear the stage within 45 minutes. It covers Area 14, detailing the use of the central switch to control lighting during combat, and the objective of pressing 4 red switches to open a barrier gate. A specific party strategy is outlined, involving warp gates, and having the force player hold a switch at a junction to allow others to proceed, explicitly advising against using warp circa. While a recovery point is available, the guide notes that skipping it saves valuable time. Moving into Area 15, the strategy involves entering a specific warp and activating a pink switch to clear the path forward, and it advises players to bypass any hidden rooms. Finally, the page provides tactics for the boss encounter against Dorimaga, a beast-type enemy. The critical rule in challenge mode is highlighted. If any party member is defeated, the challenge ends. Strategies include using durable characters like androids to absorb boss attacks, and utilizing elemental attacks against the pan arms encountered on the raft. The guide emphasizes that simply scattering to avoid attacks is not effective against this boss. This is crucial information for any team tackling this challenging stage. This guide provides strategies for Phantasy Star Online's Challenge Mode Stage 4, focusing on areas 16 to 18. In Area 16, the leftmost switch is the key. Area 17 involves split party coordination, with one player activating a time switch while others navigate a barrier puzzle using switches H in sequence. Area 18 features a switch puzzle where only the rightmost switch is correct. Incorrect choices trigger explosions. Party splitting and balanced combat strength are recommended. For forces, the guide emphasizes using offensive techniques and photon arts like trap and laser, with lasers shown to be effective against the boss, Dorimaga. These strategies are crucial for successfully completing this challenging stage. Challenge Mode Stage 5, Mining Area 1, features the formidable Sinnoh enemy. The goal is to clear the stage within 40 minutes. Effective strategies involve prioritizing Sinnoh takedowns while managing swarms of smaller enemies. Hunters should quickly eliminate Sinnoh using skills like Gigas Crush. Rangers provide crucial support, especially in corridors, assisting hunters, and targeting flying cannibals. Forces focus on healing and support, utilizing techniques like Zond and Foa as strategically luring enemies. The map guides players through the stage. Key areas include a hidden recovery point, usually ignored for speed, rooms with path-blocking pillars, often best avoided, and a room requiring pillar destruction for optimal movement. This page continues the guide for Phantasy Star Online, focusing on navigation and key enemy strategies for areas 22 through 25, likely within Challenge Mode Stage 5 or a similar dungeon section. The map details the path forward, highlighting critical points like switches, warps, and a recovery point. The guide provides specific advice for overcoming challenges. In Area 22, there's a peculiar switch. Pressing the correct one, right-hand side from the entrance, is crucial to avoid triggering obstructive pillars. Area 23 features a warp. Taking the left warp is the correct path, leading to a hidden passage to Area 24. It's noted that pillars encountered here can largely be ignored. Area 24 shows a gate blocking access to a recovery point, emphasizing that a Ranger-class character should open this by shooting the switch above the door, which is vital for the Force class in later battles. Crucially, detailed strategies are given for formidable foes. For Galanez, it's recommended to have a high HP character lure it while others leave the room. Then the remaining character circles Galanez, causing its own missiles to hit and defeat it. The guide also reinforces the strategy for the tough Sinnoh enemy, advising the use of high attack power weapons and aiming for a 2vs1 advantage whenever possible, focusing attacks to overwhelm it. This guide focuses on Phantasy Star Online's Challenge Mode Stage 6, Cave 2, aiming for a 45 to 50-minute clear time. It covers areas 25, 26, and 27, emphasizing navigation and enemy tactics. Area 25 requires precise switch activation to avoid traps, and Rangers are warned against shooting a wall switch to prevent path obstructions. Area 26 highlights the route and notes that Force-class characters can retrieve items from a hidden passage. Area 27 advises against a specific switch and warns of enemies in a narrow room. The guide provides screenshots of enemies like Dub Sheik and Giltchick, offering tips on defeating them efficiently, including a Buster Weapon combo for Giltchicks. This page continues the guide for Phantasy Star Online's Challenge Mode Stage 6, covering the later areas and the boss battle. It highlights specific strategies needed to progress efficiently. In one room in Area 28, successful navigation requires coordinating switch presses among the team, specifically pressing them in numerical order while one player advances. The guide also notes that Force-class players can retrieve items in certain spots to optimize clear times. A common puzzle involves defeating all enemies in an area before a key switch becomes active. For a particular switch puzzle, the correct solution is to activate the switch located at the front left, from the entrance perspective. Moving into Area 29, after clearing the main area, one player should return to activate a time switch to open the gate to the boss, then quickly rejoin the others before the gate closes. The guide confidently declares the boss, Volume Opt, is an easy win for a 4-person team. Strategies for the boss include attacking its face in the first form, while focusing on the red lightning generators, and targeting its back in the second form, while dodging missiles and lasers. Volume Opt is noted as having low HP, and is easily defeated with powerful weapons. The page concludes by teasing the next challenge, a time attack in the ruins area, hinting at the possibility of obtaining strength weapons. This page is the magazine's regular reader submission corner for game tricks and secrets. The editorial team mentions they're actively searching for secrets in games like Shenmue 2. Highlighted reader tips include a quirky trick for Virtua Striker 2 Vir 2000.1. Apparently, losing to the CPU and using a continue can mysteriously turn your player's hair blonde. It seems like a bizarre visual glitch or hidden feature. Next up is a significant tip for Super Street Fighter 2X for matching service. There's a method to unlock a secret option menu. This involves clearing the game with different versions of characters, which are displayed on a character panel. Clearing the game colors the character's portrait, and once all are colored, holding the Gay button while selecting options reveals the secret menu. The page includes a list of specific commands to clear the game with characters in their super version. This menu even grants access to settings for the overseas version of the game. Finally, for Eldorado Gate Volume 5, there's a tip to access the music mode, referred to as music mode in the game's menu. By navigating to the mode and using the directional buttons, players can cycle through different visual displays or VJ modes while listening to the game's soundtrack. There are 13 different visuals to check out. The page also details how readers can submit their own tricks for a chance to be featured and win prizes like Dreamcast software or magazine merchandise. This page reports on the exciting conclusion of the Guilty Gear X 3-on-3 National Tournament. The event, held on August 25th, saw 59 teams who had won regional qualifiers compete for the championship. The atmosphere was electric, fueled by the high-level matches and additional attractions like demo stations for Guilty Gear X Plus on PS2 and Guilty Gear Petite 2 on WonderSwan Color, as well as a dedicated cosplay area. The tournament itself featured some upsets, including the early elimination of the team known as Saint, signaling a shift in the competitive scene. The report highlights parallel events, such as a women's tournament and a cosplay contest, showing the breadth of the community's engagement. The winning team was Ken-chan, whose members represented the characters Milia Rage, Zato = 1, Eddie, and Johnny. The page also features a section showcasing impressive cosplayers who attended. Beyond the tournament, there's news about a Guilty Gear X Drama CD Volume 1, featuring original voice actors and new stories, released on October 24th. Finally, the event included a live performance by the band Lapis Lazuli, who played arrangements of Guilty Gear X music by composer Daisuke Ishiwatari, adding to the vibrant energy of the finals. This page introduces a new segment called Virtua Fighter 4 Skillsy, promising to delve into the game's systems, characters, and advanced techniques. It first examines the system for countering wake-up attacks. It explains that while wake-up attacks gain temporary invincibility upon activation in VF4, this invincibility is fleeting. Success in crushing wake-ups hinges on understanding attack properties, particularly active frames and damage. Attacks with longer active frames or higher damage often win out in clashes. Next, a strategy focusing on exploiting stunned opponents is discussed. When an opponent is stunned, especially after certain counter hits or successful guards, it creates an opportunity for guaranteed throws. Knowing the specific timing and follow-up moves, like quick giant swings or other specific attacks, is crucial to capitalize on this vulnerable state. The page also highlights the importance of knowing guaranteed follow-up attacks after successfully evading an opponent's move. Successfully evading different types of attacks, such as various punches or kicks, leaves the opponent open for specific, guaranteed hits. Mastery here requires recognizing which attack was evaded to execute the correct follow-up, as detailed in the provided chart of guaranteed moves. Finally, a new combo is introduced. This is presented as a practical alternative to a previously discussed high-damage combo. While slightly lower in damage, this new sequence is effective against certain character weights, particularly lighter characters, after a specific knockdown move, and is noted to work on most of the roster with a few exceptions like Akira and Jackie. This page shifts focus to the competitive scene of Virtua Fighter 4. It provides a snapshot of the player and team rankings as of September 5th, noting changes and highlighting top contenders in both overall points and consecutive wins. A special feature introduces a strong player named Chibita, known for using Lion, discussing his playstyle and arcade location. The page also touches upon the VF.net item system, revealing that certain cosmetic items such as cat ears are designated as embarrassing and require skilled play to remove, preventing the equipping of other items until they are taken off. Practical gameplay advice continues, with a demonstration of a guaranteed ground attack against opponents who fail to tech after being knocked down, and details a specific, powerful guaranteed combo sequence for Lion after a throw. The magazine concludes this section by soliciting information from readers about local tournaments and skilled players to feature in future issues. This page dives into Tekken 4, focusing on the character King. It's part of a series discussing the game's characters, featuring developer insights. The page covers King's history within the series, noting that the current King is the second iteration, inheriting the mantle after the first King's death in Tekken 3, seemingly at the hands of Marduk. This loss spurs the new King to seek revenge. Developer comments touch on early design ideas for King's mask, considering options that showed more of his face, but ultimately sticking with the more traditional, cool look, albeit with some hair now visible from the back. The developers highlight that their goal for King in Tekken 4 was to create a character who could attack in various ways depending on the player, with a strong emphasis on throws, a concept driven by the staff's passion for professional wrestling. They suggest using King's slightly faster jab and a specific guaranteed attack after a guard to set up his numerous command throws, recommending fighting at mid to close range to capitalize on his grapple arsenal rather than solely relying on air combos for damage. The page includes a full command list for King's moves and displays screenshots of him in action. This page reveals Lei Wulong as the fourth time-release character for Tekken 4, making his return from Tekken 2. He's presented as a flashy detective, with a brief section covering his story, possibly involving Nina and a syndicate, explaining his motives for participating in the tournament. Screenshots show Lei fighting Nina, a cinematic pose, and an action shot with a gun. The page also continues the discussion on King from the previous issue, delving deeper into his pro wrestling style and powerful throws. It emphasizes the importance of using preemptive input for King's complex throws to execute them effectively. The page then details various special throw combinations and explains a 10-hit combo, highlighting the depth of King's grappling arsenal. This page introduces Craig Marduk as the sixth character in Tekken 4. He's presented as a powerful new character, described as a monster of revenge, who was imprisoned but is now free, and seeks vengeance against the one who killed his friend. The development team discusses his design, stating he wasn't modeled after anyone specific, but is a composite of various strong people. They aim to create a character type not seen before, balancing power with a unique fighting style. Marduk's moves are generally slow, making it difficult to take the offensive, but he excels at evading attacks while striking back. Two key techniques highlighted for high evasion and damage potential are shown with screenshots: the Tornado Chop and Sui Double Hammer. The page also details his signature mount position, explaining it's his biggest source of damage. Methods to achieve the mount include the spear tackle, upper/middle catches, northern lights, suplex, or power slam. Once mounted, he can punch up to 4 times, with the fourth hit automatically transitioning into a throw. Opponents can guard the punches or escape by pressing punch and kick simultaneously. Additional techniques demonstrated include using the spear tackle, transitioning from a mount into a joint lock, and even performing feints specifically from the fourth mount punch. Overall, Marduk is presented as a unique, powerful grappler focused on high damage opportunities from his dominant ground positions. This page delves into the complex fighting style of Lei Wulong in Tekken 4. Known as the Super Cop, Lei is a master of numerous martial arts, most notably the 5 animal styles and Drunken Fist. His unique fighting style allows him to adopt various stances, including facing away from the opponent and even lying on the ground, making him highly unpredictable. The page highlights his 5 animal styles as the core of his offensive strategy. By transitioning smoothly between stances like snake, crane, leopard, dragon, and tiger, Lei can launch powerful and unexpected attacks. A key point emphasized is the strategic advantage of transitioning from the dragon stance after certain hits. The page also specifically focuses on the tiger and leopard stances, detailing their characteristics and potential. A stance shift chart visually explains the possible transitions between his animal forms. Beyond the stances, the page provides a comprehensive command list detailing his many techniques. It also covers his air combo potential and breaks down his 10-hit combo, noting that while the combo structure itself is largely unchanged, the startup commands have been adjusted for Tekken 4. Lei remains a character defined by his mastery of different forms and his ability to confuse opponents with constant stance switching. The next page is all about Mobile Suit Gundam Federation vs. Zeon DX, an arcade game that builds on the popular team battle format. This deluxe version adds new mobile suits and entirely new stages, including the exciting introduction of space combat, a major new feature. The core gameplay remains centered on 1 to 4 player team battles, controlled with a lever and 4 buttons for movement, shooting, and melee. A significant addition is new firepower for the Federation forces, drawing from the Mobile Suit Gundam, the 08THMS Team Series, specifically highlighting the Ground-type GM and Ground-type Gundam mobile suits. The developers state that all mobile suits in the game have received improvements and adjustments. The page also promotes the DVD release of the 08THMS Team anime, likely tied to the inclusion of its mobile suits. The next page dives deeper into Mobile Suit Gundam Federation vs. Zeon DX, focusing on the major additions that make this the evolved form. The biggest news is the introduction of space combat stages, adding 5 new stages to the previous 12. While controls remain largely the same, the jump button now allows for vertical movement in the zero-gravity environment, opening up true 360-degree battles. Adding to the roster of playable mobile suits is the humble RB-79 ball, previously just a CPU unit, but now available for players to control in the heat of battle. Another significant gameplay change is the ability to issue instructions to your allied CPU-controlled mobile suits. You can direct them to focus on shooting, melee, provide support, prioritize evasion, or stick to a normal stance, adding a new layer of strategy. The page also highlights the appearance of Matilda Agojin, who serves as support staff for the Federation forces, watching over the players' battles and providing encouragement. Other improvements include showing the allied player's chosen mobile suit during selection, and removing restrictions on choosing space or ground stages during intervention, making the game more flexible. Overall, the DX version feels like a significant upgrade, powered up in presentation and content, sure to satisfy Gundam fans. This page unveils Castle of Shikigami, an occult-themed shooting game from Alpha System, the studio behind Gun Parade March. Scheduled for a mid-September arcade launch, this 12-player shooter centers around battling supernatural threats. The featured player character is Kutaru Kuga. Gameplay hinges on mastering 3 attack types: a standard shot, a powerful Shikigami attack activated by holding the button, and limited juice bombs for emergencies. The scoring system, called the Tension Bonus System, rewards players for getting close to enemies and bullets, increasing a score multiplier up to x8. This closeness also fuels the high-tension attack, significantly boosting shot power when firing within the maximum multiplier range. Collecting coins provides score and strengthens attacks. The story kicks off with a mysterious serial murder case in Tokyo in 2005's, drawing the protagonist into the supernatural conflict. This page continues the coverage of Castle of Shikigami, highlighting 4 more playable characters and several bosses. We see the shrine maiden Yuki Seiyo, whose Shikigami Yata circles around her nullifying bullets despite a narrow attack range. Next is Hyuga Genojo, a detective with an unusual H-shaped normal shot and a powerful transformation special. Fumiko Oseta Vanstein is a witch wielding a potent laser attack, though it requires her to be stationary while aiming. Finally, Kim Dajon, a kendo master, features the wide-reaching Nyo sword Shikigami and a fixed trajectory special shot. The page also introduces 4 menacing bosses: Miyako Aku, a former idol-turned-ogre; Shu Fujishima, a nationalist summoning a god; Hiroshi Aku, a killer commanding an army; and Bauman Aku, an actor-ogre seeking youth. The page gives a brief performance overview for each character, detailing the key aspects of their unique abilities in this occult shooter. This page presents the Akasaka Garage Kit Hall's monthly feature, showcasing a diverse collection of figures and model kits. It highlights impressive pieces from various franchises, including detailed figures of Devilman and Akira Fudo, capturing the essence of the classic manga. For Mobile Suit Z Gundam fans, there's a striking figure of Heyman Karn. The page also features figures from the Final Fantasy, the Spirits Within movie, showcasing the characters with impressive detail. Action figure enthusiasts will appreciate the Yujiro Hanma figure from Baki the Grappler. Finally, mecha modelers are covered with a kit of Argideros from Dominion and the HGUCS Gundam from Gundam Sentinel. The commentary expresses enthusiasm for the quality and variety of these collectibles, demonstrating that hobby interests extend well beyond the latest game releases, with fans eager to own these pieces representing their favorite series. This page delves further into the world of collectibles and model kits, following the theme from the previous display. At the top, you'll find impressive finished toys of large mecha. Featured are the massive Dendrobium from Mobile Suit Gundam, noted for its unprecedented 60 cm size, packed with gimmicks like opening containers. Alongside it are iconic VF1 Valkyrie figures from Macross, including the VF1A and VF1's Fokker Custom, highlighting their classic design and transformation capabilities. Moving down, there's a showcase of exciting prize items from Mobile Fighter Strug Gundam, featuring the God Gundam and Master Gundam, capturing the dynamic energy of their special moves like the Godfinger. A charming collection of candy toys presents characters from Alice in Wonderland, rendered in intricate detail despite their small size, appealing to fans of classic stories and miniature figures. The main highlight, presented as a topic, is a truly ambitious project, a gargantuan 1/12 scale hyper-hybrid model kit of Char's Custom MS-06's Zaku 2. Standing nearly 1.5 meters tall, this kit is presented as a significant challenge for hobbyists, featuring around 200 parts and a hefty price tag. It's clear this piece is aimed at the most dedicated builders, pushing the boundaries of model kit scale and detail. The page expresses admiration for the sheer audacity of creating such a large-scale model of a standard mobile suit. This page features introductions to several characters on the left side, followed by a short manga strip on the right titled Sea Creature, specifically episode 53, The Secret of the Crowded Train. The character profiles include Guru, a first-year junior high student aspiring to be a scientist who likes fidgeting things and researching creatures; Jinkin Awai-san, a peculiar assistant created by Guru with a human face on her chest; Maisi-san, a school idol from a wealthy family who likes smooth things and is noted as narcissistic; and Ayase-kun, Guru's classmate and mecha fan who is part of Maisi-san's team. The comic illustrates the characters dealing with the misery of a delayed, crowded train. Dialogue includes announcements about the delay, expressions of discomfort from the crushing crowd, one character feeling sticky and pressed against another, and finally, a panicked cry of "Chikan!" groping from Jinkin Aoi-san, asking Guru for help. Maisi-san comments that she usually takes a car, but the roads are also crowded. The scene ends with the announcement that the doors are opening. The comic uses a cute, exaggerated style to depict the character's plight on the packed train. The manga panel depicts the continuing chaos on a crowded, stalled train. Jinkin and Guru are physically pressed together, with Jinkin embracing it humorously, claiming the close proximity fosters a strange love. Maisi-san, annoyed by the situation, declares it a nuisance. Other characters express distress at the train's halt and the crowded conditions. Jinkin also humorously declares the other passengers her bodyguards. Amidst the pandemonium, the panel highlights the presence of a crime groping in the crowd. The next installment promises information on club and dance culture, hinting at a shift in focus for Sea Creature, but the humor remains. This page introduces the latest issue of the weekly magazine, The Play 2 from SoftBank Entertainment, featuring dynamic artwork of fantasy characters wielding swords. This issue is being touted as the go-to source for both new game information and strategy guides, covering anticipated titles releasing in late 2001. The magazine is packed with special reports, including deep dives into Konami's next major RPG entry, likely Suikoden 2i, the dating sim Tokimeki Memorial 3, and others like Wild Arms Advanced 3rd, and Silent Hill 2. It also provides comprehensive strategy coverage for recent hits like Ace Combat 04, Shattered Skies, Mobile Suit Gundam, Zeonic Front, and the action-packed Devil May Cry, claiming the guides are so thorough you won't need anything else. Beyond the magazine content, SoftBank Publishing is highlighting its lineup of game-related products, including impressive high-quality paper model kits of Temujin and Feiyan from the classic Virtual On series. They also list their strategy guides for sale, covering a wide range of popular games across PlayStation 2, PC, Dreamcast, and even a guide for the arcade version of Virtua Fighter 4. This page is a solid look at the exciting games and resources available from SoftBank in September 2001. This page is a fun compatibility horoscope feature running from September 14th to September 27th. It offers insights into compatibility with characters you might like, or based on your zodiac sign. The page highlights a specific character's fortune: Akira Yuki from the Virtua Fighter series, born on September 23rd. His fortune indicates his luck is currently low, and he needs to rely on precise data and experience rather than emotion to succeed. The bulk of the page is dedicated to horoscopes for all 12 zodiac signs, each featuring cute illustrations representing the male and female of the sign, a brief fortune summary, a lucky color, a lucky item, and ratings for money, health, love, work, and play. It's a lighthearted section offering quick, easy-to-read fortunes for the upcoming 2 weeks, a common filler feature you'd see in these kinds of magazines. This page is all about reader giveaways and a look ahead at what's coming. You could win some cool stuff here, like a Dreamcast game of your choice from titles released up to September 28, 2001, excluding limited editions. They're giving away signed posters for Ryoko Inu Roommate. And for fans of the quirky simulation game Seaman, there's a special t-shirt and support set. You can also snag an original Dorimaga t-shirt. And for the Sonic Adventure 2 fans, there are phone cards featuring that awesome cover art with Sonic and the newly introduced Shadow. The deadline to enter is September 27, 2001, by postcard. Looking ahead, the big news is that Dorimaga is transforming into a comprehensive magazine, covering more than just Dreamcast. The next issue, out on September 28, 2001, kicks off this transition. Get ready for features on the Dreamcast, but also the launch of a GameCube magazine section. Expect coverage on major titles like Shenmue 2, Super Robot Wars Alpha for Dreamcast, Sakura Wars 3, Virtua Fighter 4, Tekken 4, and even Nintendo's Luigi's Mansion. It sounds like they're expanding their horizons significantly. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Pachichonmage Hisatsu Shigatonin, a pachinko simulation based on the popular Japanese historical drama series. It features the stern faces of characters from the show looming over a pachinko machine. The game is currently on sale for 5,800 yen, excluding tax. It highlights several key features for fans of digital pachinko. The game is compatible with the @VP@Chi online service, allowing players to compete against others over the internet. There's a tournament participation mode, where winning leads to actual prizes, like travel tickets. The strategy mode lets you fine-tune machine settings for practice and planning, while the ranking mode allows players to test their skills under time limits and upload their results online. Finally, an appreciation mode lets you view the game's visual effects and promotional material. The game combines the thrill of pachinko with online competition and strategic depth, all wrapped in the theme of the iconic Hisatsu series. This page showcases the Dreamcast title DGI Chariot Fantasy, a visual novel adventure game featuring the popular characters created by Kogadonbo, including Dejiko and Puchiko. Responding to player requests, the game brings the chaotic and cute world of DGI Carrot to the Dreamcast console. The page highlights several appealing features. Players can expect over 200 visual scenes, all lavishly drawn by the original character designer, Kogadonbo. The dialogue is fully voiced, with over 13 popular voice actors lending their talents to the unique cast. The story centers around Dejiko and her friends being transported to another world and experiencing 7 slightly sad, wonderful stories. The game was available in both a standard edition priced at 5,800 yen and a limited edition costing 7,800 yen. The limited edition, restricted to just 3,000 copies, included special bonus items, a unique visual memory card, a full-arranged soundtrack CD, and a 2002 calendar. Developed by Broccoli, DGI Chariot Fantasy was already on sale when this magazine was published, promising fans a voiced, visually rich story experience on their Dreamcast.